announce all of his nominees by Thanksgiving. We are still waiting for the Small Business Administration Director, the head of the National Economic Council, and potentially a pick to lead the FBI.
The Rose Parade is an annual tradition on New Year's Day, and while that's still more than a month away, they held a test run of the floats yesterday in Pasadena. KCAL reporter Kara Finstrom says this is
an opportunity for Tournament of Roses to evaluate the functionality, the mechanics, and whether or not these are road ready.
A settlement between a once rising Hollywood star and his ex.
Attorneys for Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari agreed to dismiss the case with prejudice. That's according to a joint filing in a Manhattan federal court. Jabari, in her lawsuit filed in March, accused the 35-year-old Marvel and Creed 3 star of subjecting her to escalating incidents of physical and verbal abuse during their relationship, including assault, battery, defamation, and infliction of emotional distress. Following a guilty verdict, Majors was immediately dropped by Marvel Studios. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
Women's soccer has a new champion.
It is Orlando Pride, who are the NWSL champions for the very first time.
The call on CBS Sports. The Orlando Pride beat the Washington Spirit 1-0 for the win in front of a sold-out crowd in Kansas City. Pride striker Barbara Banda scored the lone goal of the match and was named the 2024 MVP. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And his great Novak Djokovic has a new coach. In March, he split from his coach of 6 years after winning 12 Grand Slam titles together. He hadn't hired a replacement and struggled during the past year, failing to win a Grand Slam or a tour-level tournament of any kind. He ended the season at number 7. Now, he's got a new coach, who he hopes can help him climb back to the top.
25 years of being rivals, of pushing each other beyond our limits.
He posted on Instagram,
"We had some of the most epic battles in our sport. Called us game changers, risk takers, history makers. I thought our story may be over. Turns out it has one final chapter. It's time for one of my toughest opponents to step into my corner. Welcome on board, Coach Andy Murray."
First up, the 2025 Australian Open in January. Djokovic will be looking for his 11th title. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Using that brain power. Wave 105 FM. Good afternoon. It is 2:06 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the mushroom bacon cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
I noticed you've been flipping the channels looking for a place to land on. Well, I'm here at 105.1 The Wave. I'll make you laugh, maybe cry, but you're going to hear everything to get you through your morning. Mornings with Patty. You don't have to listen to me, but I think you're going to want to.
Mornings with Patty on The Wave 105 is brought to you by GTA, Chili's Bar and Grill, Bank Pacific, Subway, Sherwin-Williams Paint, Take Care Insurance, and Pat's Denting and Detailing.
You are tuned into Wave 105.1 FM on the Brightside with Pauly Suba every Monday to Friday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can listen on our website, thewave105.com, or watch us live on YouTube, Wave 105 Guam. If you want to reach us on the line, please call us at 671-922-1051 or 1052. You can also WhatsApp us at 671-922-1051. The Brightside is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Good to go, your feast awaits. Order online or download our app. Serving 100 plus restaurants. GTA, we start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at subwaypacific.com is powered by Good to Go, we deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Craving Italian? Swing by Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Dive into our super pizza, enjoy creamy spaghetti carbonara, or savor the rich fettuccine alfredo. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Taste the best of Italy today at Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Looks like traffic is not looking too bad at this hour, but we do have your traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Manning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show hosts, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, with the kids jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah, it is. It's also the bright side once again right here on Wave 105. Appreciate you tuning in with me, Pauly Suba. 671-922-1051 is the number, or 1052. We're also online, thewave105.com, and on our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Hanging out with Issa as well, 2:10 in the afternoon. This week, pretty much we get closer and closer to Thanksgiving on Thursday. It's federal and Gov Guam holiday, right? And to be honest with you, it's going to be a 4-day weekend for the government of Guam. So Friday is Black Friday. I've been looking at some of these, I guess, popular gifts to get starting on Friday. And are you into Lego, Issa?
I've seen like those, not like the actual like the Lego brand, right? But they do have like plants that are like out of like Lego blocks.
Yeah.
Like I like those.
Yeah. Have you gotten any lately?
No, so I recently saw them, so I'm thinking of getting those. They're so cute.
I think Legos is on my algorithm because I've been starting to enjoy building Lego again. Yeah. So I noticed that it is there's one particular Lego that is popular this year, and it is the Lego Tuxedo Cat building kit. Have you seen this? It's basically a black cat, and it's got like the white.
No, but I've seen like a whole bunch of different kinds of stuff you can build.
Yeah. So this Lego Tuxedo Cat, I guess on TikTok he got super popular because I guess people that own cats, which I'm not a cat lover at all. Like, I don't know. I'm loyal to dogs, I guess. But I guess people with black cats, they'll buy this particular Lego set, and so what they'll do is it'll look like they're gonna open up to build the cat. And open it up, and then a real life cat just jumps out of the box. And I guess that's like a trend on TikTok. And so much so that it has now become one of the most popular gifts to get this season. So I noticed that's out there. This Corksicle Power Over set. I think you'll be able to find it online. Basically, it's a pour-over coffee maker, and it goes right into your cup. But I think for coffee lovers, they want their own unique coffee cup, like a Stanley or a coffee mug, right? So I don't know if this is going to go well here in Guam, but basically, it's a coffee maker that pours right into your own coffee, to a coffee cup. It's called Corksicle, Corksicle. It's a pour over set. So I've noticed that that's pretty popular. They're only like $45. Have you seen that?
No.
How about you? Are you a coffee person?
No, I stopped drinking coffee because it makes me nervous.
What? Coffee makes you nervous?
Like, I guess the caffeine's too much for me, that I get, like, shaky.
Okay.
I don't know, I just get nervous.
Yeah. I recently went back to coffee. I was trying that Celsius.
Oh, yeah?
But Celsius gives me anxiety. Like
that's
what
why,
you're saying?
Yeah, that's what it does to me with coffee, even, like, tea.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Celsius, well, one, it's more expensive because I'd always go before I go into work, go and buy Celsius. But then I've been noticing it makes me I do like what you said. I get the shakes. I get very anxious. And then also just the price of buying Celsius every day, right? And even two of them. Switch back to coffee because we're able to save more money by brewing the coffee at home. There's more of us at home anyways. And so we just went back to that. And I don't know if I would go for this either because, this is just like a simple coffee cup, right? But the women in our house have like these very... what do you call them? Unique, right? Like a design specifically that I guess shows their, their character more, right? So I don't think that this would go well. But yeah, I noticed that you don't walk in with like a Stanley or a hydro flask or
a Stanley.
Yeah, let me see it.
Yeah, this was an early birthday gift from my mom.
Okay, you do have a Stanley. See?
Yeah. But it's just water there.
Like, I don't know what it is, but there's all of these like accessories that I've seen on people's Stanleys also.
Yeah,
Like
so
a
I
straw
have
cover.
the straw cover.
See?
My nieces, they have
That one's
it.
simple though.
Yeah.
It's a flower on top.
Yeah.
It's a straw cover flower. I've seen some really intense ones.
Really?
Like Stitch. Like Stitch will be on top of the straw. Like a keychain even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a charm thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then, I guess we're still boycotting Starbucks, so we don't do the Starbucks cups anymore. I don't know, right? That was huge.
Yeah, it was. Now Stanley.
Did you get into it? Did you get into the Starbucks
No,
cups?
I'm not really a Starbucks.
A Starby?
I'm not a Starby. But I did get a gift, and like I love the gift.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Somebody bought you a Starbucks cup?
Yeah, it was like a collection. It was a Hawaii theme.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, the ones coming out of Hawaii. One would look like a pineapple.
Yes, I have that.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like 3 years ago. And so people were buying them for like $60, $80, but then the demand has gone down, right? To the point where now like people are just stuck with a whole bunch of Starbucks cups. It's just like nobody wants to buy them anymore.
I know some people who have like a whole collection.
Yeah. What else is here? Do you have a toaster oven? Toaster ovens are back.
Yeah, I have a toaster oven.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. There's a couple of these that they can get real expensive, but there's one called a Wonder Oven. So this Wonder Oven can also, just like a toaster, but can also air fry. And I bought an air fryer when it was popular maybe 5 years ago, but then I noticed that it takes up a lot of power. Like even so much so, like if the AC's on and then you go and turn the air fryer on, it can trigger
trip
the
power.
Yeah. So I haven't used an air fryer in a while, since at least the last 3 years. Haven't done the air fryer. There's an ice cream maker that is on this list too. You can get it $70 at Target. I had an ice cream maker once, but it was still too much work.
Yeah, I wanted to buy one too, but I saw how you have to do it. I'm just like, never mind.
Yeah.
I'll just go buy ice cream at the store and put it in my ice cream cone.
Same thing with the bread maker. I remember getting a bread maker and still having to do all the measurements and whatnot. And then I would eat the bread. I'm like, it still doesn't taste as good as American Bakery. So I'll just get the bread at the store. Yeah. There's these gardening kits that are out there. I don't know. These are the ones where it's like an indoor herb gardening kit where you put it next
your window.
Yeah. Like
and then you just like pick it.
Yeah, basil.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basil, thyme, even chili peppers, baby tomatoes. That's kind of cool. But I don't have a green thumb, so I don't even know if this would work out either. Again, it's all about like, it's cool. It's kind of like it's trendy, but in 2-3 months, probably by February, I'm just going to the grocery store again and buying it. But it's that's something that's popular. Candles are always on the list too. Yeah. Yankee Candle, is that a thing for you? What about Scentsy?
I rather get the actual candle than
Real?
the warmers.
Real?
Yes, because I feel like the candles, they're stronger, the smell,
Sure.
and it lasts longer.
Okay.
Versus when I use the warmer, I guess the smell goes away, or I don't know, maybe I'm used to it. But I feel like the candle, it lasts longer, the scent.
Okay. I think the whole reason why we got into Scentsy was because the candle burns out faster. Like, if you burn the candle in like 3 days, it's gone down, right?
Where the wax is covering
yeah.
it. Also, it can depend on the thickness of the wick. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that in our house, we're still buying Scentsy. I think Scentsy was really popular 10 years ago.
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
when I was in school too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the Avon suppliers moved to
Scentsy.
Scentsy.
Yeah.
Started selling Scentsy, and then it kind of died out, but it's back again. Like I think, they're the one thing that I know about Scentsy, or I've seen with Scentsy, is because my wife even sold it, but not anymore. Is they started partnering up with other like franchises, like Disney, the NFL, So I guess when the fad was starting to die out, they're like, let's partner up with like Harry Potter. Let's partner up with Marvel. And so they started making these like Marvel
themed,
warmers.
Yeah.
Or a football, with the logo of the 49ers, and people like that stuff. And so I think that got people's attention again to go back and buy them. Like, who doesn't want a Stitch warmer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't want like a, what is it that what's that hat in Harry Potter? The one where you put it on and it tells you what house you go to. Yeah, who doesn't want a warmer like that? Or who doesn't want a Cinderella Disney Castle Scentsy warmer, So I noticed that's still big here in Guam, and then also friends sell them, right? And so, just like Girl Scout cookies, where you're like, what? It's easy for me to say no, or, kind of like walk out of Kmart and kind of go one way and not look them in the eye, right? Look the Girl Scout in the eye. But once we make eye contact, you're just like, I can't say no to you. But also you can't say no to your relative that's also selling Scentsy, right? And so usually your supplier is somebody and then you always go back to the same one, right? And the worst is when you have like 3 or 4 in your family. You're like, what the heck? I got to buy from all 4 of y'all? So there's that. It's the sorting hat. That's what it's called. Sorting hat for Harry Potter. I know this is still big. We bought my daughter one before. It's a vinyl record player. And it's a Bluetooth player. Yeah, that was a big hit 2-3 years ago. Obviously, it's still on the list here. You can find one at Ross every now and then. Ross will bring in these.
Yeah, I bought my little cousin one.
Yeah.
It's crazy how you brought that up because I've actually been looking at those too.
They're not that price, especially like at under $50 at Ross. Shoot, next time I see one at Ross, I might just grab one for you now that I know that you're looking at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're under $50. I like the one that looks more traditional though.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for too.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't care if it sounds like, like how it is, like, because some people don't like the sound, right, of the older one. I think it's different.
Okay.
But I still like it.
Yeah.
It's like soothing.
Yeah. It looks cool on your table too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have you been buying vinyls lately? That's back again.
Yeah, they actually have a store here.
What?
Yeah.
Where?
I think in Hagåtña. I think it's called Record Bay.
Oh my goodness. Are you keeping that place a secret so nobody else knows where to go?
No.
Where in Hagåtña?
I'll look.
Okay.
I'll look right now.
Because I know, what is that? There's every now and then the thrift shops will have these records for sale. There is a thrift shop near Serena Park. It's upstairs. I forgot what the name of that thrift shop's called. But every now and then they'll sell records there too. So I know records are a big hit, especially with like the Gen Zers, not the Alphas. The Alphas are like 8 years old, but the Gen Zers are like 15 to 20 years old, right? I believe so. That age group, they are they're buying these records again. And so even going to the flea market or going to just somebody's garage sale, I know these kids are always trying to look for records, even Chamorro record albums. So if anybody's got like Chamorro record albums, you can put that out in your yard sale again, or you can put that out on like Facebook Marketplace. People will buy that.
So
for
I
a good
found
amount.
it.
Okay.
It's where Aspinall Avenue is in Hagåtña, where Carabao Brewing and Hafa
Yeah.
Adai. Yeah. That's the building that they're located at.
What's it called?
It's called Record Bay.
Man, it's the
And they even have like today's music too.
Okay.
Yeah, they have collections.
It's got to be the same building then.
Yeah.
Do you know the thrift shop that's nearby there? It might be the same people, to be honest with you. What is the name of that thrift shop? I forget. But it's upstairs from Carabao Brewing. Across the street is Bank Pacific.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's where they're at.
Okay. Nice. Definitely want to check that place out then as we get closer to Christmas. And then portable Bluetooth speakers are a big thing this year. Especially when you're like going to the beach, right? Go to the beach. You have one of those things near with you and your family. We grabbed a couple of those too. And then there's this thing that I've never seen before. It's called an Aura ring, and they're already on the fourth generation. It's basically like a smartwatch, but a smart ring, right? And it tracks your data for when you run, for when you walk, your steps. It tracks your steps. Yeah. And instead of, if you don't want to wear a smartphone watch, it basically does the same thing the smartphone watch does for when you're, getting your steps in or you're working out. It tracks your heartbeat and whatnot, right? Which I don't understand it. Maybe because it's
the pulse.
It's tracking your pulse,
yeah,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's your ring. It's a ring, and they've got like different designs. The one that's most popular is that rose gold. Yeah. But these things are pretty expensive, and you can get them on Amazon, Best Buy, or at the actual store. It's Aura, but it's Oura. Aura ring, and they're already on the fourth generation. They go for about $350.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm scared I would lose it though.
A ring? I haven't lost this ring in forever.
But you're exercising, right?
Okay. You just got to make sure it's fitted.
Mm-hmm.
Like this one. This one's super fitted. Like, look at, ain't nobody gonna, there's no way that I can go anywhere without people thinking that I'm not married.
You can see the imprint.
Look at the indent here.
Yeah.
There's no way I can't even. This is how tight it is. I rub it. Yeah, this ain't going away at all. So, there you go. What do you call it? These Dyson Airwrap multi-stylers. Basically, it's got like different attachments, and it just turns into like a giant blow dryer. But it can be a comb. It could be different attachments of a comb, all the way to the point where it just blow dries your hair. And this thing goes for $600.
$600?
Yeah.
That's
a
good.
blow dryer.
A blow dryer versus that ring.
It is Dyson though. So, Dyson's pretty expensive, right? But yeah, a Dyson blow dryer with all of these attachments. There's 1, 2, 3, 8 attachments, $600. That's probably the most expensive thing that I see on this list. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff here, but a massage gun. Yeah. And there's different kinds. So they They go from $80 all the way up to $400, and I guess the amount of pressure it gives and how large the massage gun is the different price. But yeah, those are pretty decent presents too. If anybody's trying to figure out what do I get, somebody. I've noticed massage guns are pretty popular, and they even come with their own like carry-on bag. The ePro stores. Have you seen these ePro stores at like Agana Shopping Center?
Yes.
Micronesia Mall.
Mhm.
I've seen them selling.
Yeah, like I
massage
noticed
guns.
when it was like popular, a lot of places were selling them.
Yeah. And then also you can find them every now and then at Ross. But I'll just tell you, I bought one at Ross and we returned it 3 days later. So that's...
They even have one at Cautilas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So there you go. 2:32 in the afternoon. We're going to take the break. On the other side. We'll do some sports. I got really no rush to get into some of the serious topics. Obviously, there are some things on my mind, and if you want to get there faster, you can call me up, 671-922-1051, the development of the hospital in Manilao, and now possibly even condemning some land nearby so that way they can prepare for a medical city. Or more buildings, which kind of got me by surprise, or I thought we were going to go a little bit slower, just focus on the hospital first, and then, try to negotiate with some of the landowners nearby for later on. And now we're already having conversations of condemning land so that way they can basically use that land for a medical city. So I know that is on our minds today. Free college at GCC also is on our mind. And on Friday, the legislature went into the committee on rules, and they agreed to a couple of bills that they're going to be debating on before they get to the new year. So I have a list of bills that they're going to be debating, and I've yet to see anything from the speaker of when they're going to begin the December session to debate some of these bills, see if they can pass it before we get to January 1st. So we'll see. Attorney Pete's on the line already. Let's talk to Attorney Pete. Hafa Adai, attorney.
Hello?
Hafa Adai.
Who's this?
Oh, no, this is not Attorney Pete. This is my dad.
This is Judge Pauly Suba.
What's going on?
I just wanted to say hello. You look sharp on TV,
thanks.
and love you much.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
So I also wanted to congratulate GPD. I don't know if you were able to share that. They won the first place position in that shoot-off with the military.
Oh, no. Tell me about this. I mean, I haven't even noticed this until you sent it to me just like now.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much it. What I sent you is it's on YouTube now. But
okay.
There was a competition. This general wanted to have a competition between the military branches and GPD. And so they took care of that business, and it turned out pretty well. And so I'm very proud of GPD.
Oh, it's a marksmanship event.
That's correct.
Okay. This happened just today?
Yeah. No. Over the weekend, I believe, or last week, Friday, something like that.
Okay, nice. When was the last time that you took part in this this kind of marksmanship competition?
I don't know. Oh, me? Myself?
Yeah.
Back in the FBI Academy, National Academy.
Yeah? You guys did a competition out there? Marksmanship competition?
Amongst the candidate trainees who then graduated.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But, it's always good to keep sharp and develop our skills in that regard.
Absolutely. And it's when you put something like this together too, it's pretty entertaining, yeah?
Well, and even more so, the camaraderie between the law enforcement community and our military counterparts, definitely.
Yeah. It says here, third place was the active duty U.S. Army, second place Anderson Air Force Base 36 Security Forces, and then first place the Guam Police Department. That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Very proud of our men and women. And, we've got a lot of great, marksmen in our department.
Yeah.
Both past and present. And, it's just very important that they keep on top of their training and skill. It's ultimately for safety for everyone.
Sure. Do you know some of these people that are a part of the team?
Oh, yes. I just met one earlier today, a sergeant who has been with the SWAT team. And, of course, you remember your buddy from way back. His dad was in the news, newsman. I can't think of his name right off the top of my head. But
I know who you're talking about. Is it Tony?
Yeah. Tony. There you go.
Yeah.
What was his dad's name again?
John Anderson.
John. God, John's going to kick my butt from heaven.
Yeah. So Tony entered the competition. He represented Guam Police Department.
He was up there representing
nice.
GPD.
Nice.
But it's really good to see you and hear you. And a lot of people appreciate who you have on your program and the information you put out. So keep up the great work, son.
I appreciate it, Dad. Thanks for calling.
All right.
Okay.
God bless you all, and happy Thanksgiving to you and your listeners and all the people of this beautiful island.
Biba. All right, Dad.
All right. Adios.
All right, 2:38 in the afternoon. Is Attorney Pete also trying to get in?
No.
Oh, okay. Because I was actually going to tell him, like, wow, you're calling me probably from off island, because I noticed he's off island. Yeah. All right, we'll take the break. 2:38 in the afternoon. This is Wave 105.
There is a new star in the food world.
Out of the way, kale. Beans have become the new health hero.
Every week, I meal prep a dense bean salad, which is a dense salad packed with veggies, tons of protein, and a vinegar-based dressing.
A dedicated TikTok account has more than 2.7 million followers.
It's basically the only thing that ensures I get enough protein and vegetables throughout the week.
High in protein, fiber, iron, potassium, and folate, plus low in fat. One nutritionist tells the Wall Street Journal beans are a nutrient powerhouse that can help lower blood pressure and cholesterol. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You may have to scramble to track down some eggs for holiday baking. Some stores are running short of eggs, especially those in states requiring eggs from cage-free hens as cases of bird flu spreads from wild birds to commercial flocks. 60% of bird flu cases recently detected involved cage-free farms. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hafa Adai, Guam. Johnny Atulai here, inviting you to tune in to Vet Talk Show every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the wave of conversation where Miss Bobby and I address veterans' concerns and benefits for you, only on Wave 105.1 FM.
Eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at SubwayPacific.com for pickup at your convenience or delivery right to your doorstep. Online ordering at SubwayPacific.com is powered by Good To Go. We deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Hafa Adai. This is Melvin Wampat Borja. I'm the Executive Director from the Commission on Decolonization, and I'd like to invite you to join us every Wednesday from 10 a.m. to noon for Challenge the Status Quo, where we will explore conversations around decolonization, political self-determination, and Guam's political status on Wave 105.1 FM.
Hey, what's going on, Guam? Dicey Dice here, and I'm inviting you to join me on Power 98 Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are covering anything and everything from entertainment, headlines. We are doing sports, giveaways, and more. And don't forget, the show is all being brought to you by Rigoroa Laguna Guam Resort, McDonald's. I'm loving it. Shouts out going out to Vitali's Italian Restaurant, Wise Owl Animal Hospital, Lotte Hotel, and Golf Espresso. Rolling with dice in the middays, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock on Power 98 FM.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the radio stations of Glimpses Media Group, Wave 105 FM, and Power 98. Hafa Adai, everybody, it's me, Kyle Mandapat.
Hafa Adai, it's Reese.
And we want you to tune into the Morning Blender every single day.
That's right, there's a lot of things to do. Parties, birthdays to celebrate, songs to play, and of course some horoscopes if you're trying to find out about your day.
And plenty of free stuff too.
That's right, all the free food and so much more.
So tune in to the Morning Blender weekday 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. right here on
Power 98.
Presented by Burger King,
Agaña Shopping Center,
Subway,
Pat's Tinting and Detailing,
and Chili's.
Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Hagåtña if you're heading to the intersection on Route 1. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Tumuning north and southbound if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Route 30. Slow traffic on Route 10A in Tumuning if you're coming from the intersection on Route 1 heading to the intersection in front of the Guam Airport. Slow traffic on Route 14 in Tumuning if you're entering or exiting to Route 1. And now for some traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14, Chalice San Antonio into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
Welcome back to the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. My name is Pauly Suba. So Issa was talking about a record company or a record store here in Guam. It looks like it is the same place that I was talking about. So the thrift shop that I'm talking about is called Good Looking Out, right? And it is right above. It's adjacent but upstairs to Carabao Brewing and right across the street from Bank Pacific. But it looks like they have their own separate Instagram called Record Bay. But when I see who's posting for Record Bay, it's posted at Good Looking Out. So So we are talking about the same place, just it happens to have two names, and I could totally see them doing that. It's like, okay, this Instagram is for people that want to find records, and then this Instagram or this business here is for people that want to get some stuff for the thrift shop that they have. We got John Ray on the line. Hafa Adai, senor.
Hey, Hafa Adai.
How are you doing,
Hey,
senor?
I know you're over 21 years old. Yeah. And when your dad talks to you, he said son, you said dad.
Yeah.
But always tell your dad, love you, dad.
Yeah.
Because the older generation, our older generation, they won't say that, but deep down in their heart, there's love there.
Oh,
always
yes.
love, always love.
Yes.
But before I was a hard nose on that, and then I say, hey, it doesn't cost any one, not even one penny or whatever, just to say, I love you, Dad, love you, son.
Mm-hmm.
But you're awesome, and your dad's awesome. So that's what Thanksgiving's all about,
Absolutely.
But hey, I got to ask you a question.
Yes.
When did Columbus discovered America?
I don't think he ever discovered America.
Oh, discovered the continental United States, somewhere down there in the west side and all that. But
Columbus Day, I guess? October?
That tomorrow's in 1521, when Magellan came to Guam, Chamorro has been doing Thanksgiving.
Really?
Yeah, because you come into my island, and, I'm the indigenous people here, and then say, hey, come and eat, and, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
Because even up to this date, we don't care who you are, tall, skinny, whatever race, shape or form you are and everything. We offer you the Chamorro hospitality and say, hey, come and eat. Even if that was the last piece of chicken, we'll give it up and give it to you.
Yes.
To show grace, gracia, and thanks, other than, the religion, Catholic religion coming in and all of that stuff. But the Chamorro has been doing a lot of Thanksgiving to eat. Magellan and his crew coming here, starving to death and all of that. They didn't put them on the ocean and dry up and everything. They welcome them in, come in, have some food and replenish your health. You're back to good health to continue your voyage.
Mm-hmm.
But the main Thanksgiving that my dad told me all about, it's not the giving, it's not, sharing the food and all that. That all comes with it is to forgive and get rid of the animosity amongst family and friends. And, to free your spirit of all those anxiety, stress, and all of that. And just be thankful that every day we get to see this beautiful island if we open our eyes and breathe the fresh air. And, to all the people of Guam, and especially to Wave 105 for giving me this opportunity. And let's all just be peaceful-minded, get rid of those hatred, those animosities, and just enjoy life and be thankful of what we have because, life's too short. Enjoy your life. Once you get older, then you got a lot of doctor's appointment because it's the wear and tear of the body. So, just go out there, smile, because somebody loves you, and, and that will be the best Thanksgiving you ever had is, free yourself from hate and animosity and all of that, and just enjoy life and smile because somebody loves you. And, Pauly, I love you, Pauly.
I love you, too.
And all your producers there and staff and everything. And thank you again. And Biba ha'ani manai gracia ratori itautano. Biba Guam, Biba Thanksgiving, and Biba Wave 105. Esta.
Esta Biba. Thank you, senor. John Ray right there. He's exactly right. To be honest with you, turkey's overrated. Unless you fry it.
Yeah.
Unless you fry it, right? Deep fry that turkey, then heck yeah. But I guess it's iconic, right? So, will I have a turkey on the table? More than likely I will, but will that be my favorite thing on the table? No. I just like our fiesta food, to be honest. Red rice, potato salad, what do you call it? The agansuni?
Yes.
Yes. Heck yeah. Which there's the spinach with the coconut milk, yeah?
Yes.
And then there's the eggplant with the coconut milk.
Yes.
So both of those. Which one's agansuni?
The spinach.
So, yes. So both of those I love. Chicken calaguin. I love barbecue ribs, barbecue chicken. And so that's, to me, is... And then there's, I guess, the stuffing. But there's a certain way, right?
Yeah. You're particular with how the stuffing's made?
What's the stuff at the red? I like it pimentos. I like pimentos in stuffing and potato salad. Other than that, I don't like it at all.
Do you like scallop potatoes?
Yeah. If it's there, yeah. But if my plate's already full with the chicken calaguin and the beef calaguin and the shrimp calaguin, and the potato salad and the agansuni, right? And so if I have to pick between red rice and scallop potatoes, it's red rice. Yeah. So, and even what do you call it? Kimchi noodles.
Ooh, I love those.
Yep. And cucumber in finadeni. I think, is it cucumber salad? But it's mostly it's in soy sauce and it's hot. Like it's I don't know. I call it cucumber.
Yeah, I like
finadeni.
that too.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yep. And so it's not. Everything I mentioned there is not your traditional Thanksgiving.
It's your everyday barbecue.
Yeah.
On Guam.
Yeah. And shoot, even if it's like a KFC fried chicken, I'll take that over turkey too. Yeah. I don't know. I think KFC has done a really good job of just creating a meal, right? That can be a party meal too. Like you get the fried chicken, you get their potato salad, their red rice, their chicken calaguin, mashed potatoes too, and then the corn on the cob. Like that to me is a Thanksgiving feast right there in itself. And so even that's better than turkey and ham for me and scallop potatoes. But you like the scallop potatoes?
I like
at least for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, well, I've only tried my mom's own, so.
Okay, then it's different because it's a moral that made it and prepared it, so it's got a different taste to it, right? I mean, look at what we've done to potato salad. You know, that's not ours, but we've I feel like
bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
there.
I feel like we perfected
but
it
it's
for
good,
sure.
yeah.
Deviled eggs too. Yeah, heck yeah. What is it? There's something else, but I'm not really a fan of. Oh, potato salad using red potatoes, and the skin is still on.
I've never tried that.
Oh, it's you don't need it. You don't even need it in your life at all. Not a fan of it at all. And I was like, this is potato salad? Yeah, never mind. And walnuts?
In the potato salad?
Yeah. I thought it was fruit salad. When I first saw it, I'm like, okay, there's walnuts in here. This is fruit salad. And then I bit into them like, wait a minute, this is potatoes. This is not marshmallows.
Is there an eggshell?
What the heck's going on here? Yeah. Yeah, and also our fruit salad. I like the way we do our fruit salad better than some of the other places that I tried fruit salad.
Do you add marshmallows in yours?
Heck yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And then the coconut gels. Yeah. Yep. See that? I'm already thinking of more stuff to put on the Thanksgiving dinner table this year. Yeah, and so turkey will definitely be on it just because, like I mentioned, it's iconic, right? It's really for the gram at this point. But then on Christmas, we don't have a turkey. There's no need to have another dry turkey. So the funeral ham is good. You know what I'm talking about? Funeral ham, when you slice it up.
Yes.
Yeah, with the pineapple just for decoration. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would have that over turkey too. But yeah, Tinjanre is correct. The food is nice, but the company, your family and friends gathering together with the people that you cherish, that you love, that you are so blessed to have in your life, that's what's most important. I think for us too, we celebrate each other with food, right? And so I joke around all the time where I'm like, Thanksgiving is just an extension of Christmas. It's practice for the real day of Christmas. Let's get it right. Let's go through the motions and see if we can get this right on Thanksgiving Day. But really, this is just dress rehearsal for Christmas. I joke about it, but Tinjanre is correct that Thanksgiving, even like for us and our culture, it just makes sense because we are a very giving people. We love to host. We love to be hospitable to our guests. And we also love to share our hospitality through cooking, through providing. It's not just us either, too. I want to say it's just islanders as well. Because when I went to Palau, I barely knew anybody. Went to go visit friends of friends, and they had a feast waiting for us. In Palau, and it was just beautiful to see, and for them too, everything was sustainable as well. I didn't realize how many dishes you can make with breadfruit, and then the fish they brought. Nothing was. Maybe there were a couple things that they bought at the store, but most of the protein, most of the entrees, they just got from the ocean. They got from the trees, which was so very beautiful, and I'll never forget it. That's, those are our brothers and sisters from Palau too, that love to, when they host, they love to share, they love to give what they have, and they don't have very much either, but they'll give the best of what they have to their guests. And so that's why I agree with Tinjanre that Thanksgiving and the islander, the Chamorro culture, it just goes hand in hand. 3 o'clock on the dot. We'll take the break. We've got your CBS News and then another look at your real deal traffic report right here on Wave 105. It's the Brightside, or KGUM FM in Hagåtña, Guam.
KGUM FM, Hagåtña, Guam. The sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Stacey Lynn. World leaders have agreed to a climate deal. After more than 2 weeks of negotiations at the COP29 climate summit in Baku, wealthy nations pledged to invest $300 billion a year by 2035 to help poor countries cope with the impacts of the climate crisis. Many criticized the deal, saying it's not enough. Lori Vanderberg is with Oil Change International.
What we've seen
seen is self-proclaimed climate leaders display a sickening indifference while millions across the globe are paying with their lives for the climate crisis. They have put forward a climate finance deal that is nowhere near what's needed.
In Northern California, they're still recovering from last week's powerful storms. Miles Crane lives in Guerneville, where neighbors are helping neighbors get through flooded roadways on boats.
In situations like this, you see the best of people come out, helping each other. And I think that if we just did that every day, we'd all be a lot better off.
While President-elect Donald Trump rolled out a list of cabinet nominations on Friday, CBS's Katrina Kaufman says there are still more to come.
Trump has said that he will announce all of his nominees by Thanksgiving. We are still waiting for the Small Business Administration Director, the head of the National Economic Council, and potentially a pick to lead the FBI.
The Rose Parade is an annual tradition on New Year's Day, and while that's still more than a month away, they held a test run of the floats yesterday in Pasadena. KCAL reporter Kara Finstrom says this is
an opportunity for Tournament of Roses to evaluate the functionality, the mechanics, and whether or not these are road ready.
A settlement between a once rising Hollywood star and his ex.
Attorneys for Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabari agreed to dismiss the case with prejudice. That's according to a joint filing in a Manhattan federal court. Jabari, in her lawsuit filed in March, accused the 35-year-old Marvel and Creed 3 star of subjecting her to escalating incidents of physical and verbal abuse during their relationship, including assault, battery, defamation, and infliction of emotional distress. Following a guilty verdict, Majors was immediately dropped by Marvel Studios. Matt Piper, CBS News, New York.
Women's soccer has a new champion.
It is Orlando Pride, who are the NWSL champions for the very first time.
The call on CBS Sports. The Orlando Pride beat the Washington Spirit 1-0 for the win in front of a sold-out crowd in Kansas City. Pride striker Barbara Banda scored the lone goal of the match and was named the 2024 MVP. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
And this great Novak Djokovic has a new coach. In March, he split from his coach of 6 years after winning 12 Grand Slam titles together. He hadn't hired a replacement and struggled during the past year, failing to win a Grand Slam or a tour-level tournament of any kind. He ended the season at number 7. Now, he's got a new coach, who he hopes can help him climb back to the top.
25 years of being rivals, of pushing each other beyond our limits.
He posted on Instagram,
"We had some of the most epic battles in our sport. Called us game changers, risk takers, history makers. I thought our story may be over. Turns out it has one final chapter. It's time for one of my toughest opponents to step into my corner. Welcome on board, Coach Andy Murray."
First up, the 2025 Australian Open in January. Djokovic will be looking for his 11th title. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Ooh, ma.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
That'll get you thinking. Wave 105 FM.
Hafa Adai, Guam, Johnny Atulai here, inviting you to tune in to Vet Talk Show every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the wave of conversation where Miss Bobby and I address veterans' concerns and benefits for you, only on Wave 105.1 FM.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the radio stations of Glimpses Media Group, Wave 105 FM and Power 98.
Hey, what's going on, Guam? Dicey Dice here, and I'm inviting you to join me on Power 98 Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are covering anything and everything from entertainment, headlines. We are doing sports, giveaways, and more. And don't forget, the show is all being brought to you by Riga Royal Laguna Guam Resort, McDonald's. I'm loving it. Shouts out going out to Vitali's Italian Restaurant, Wise Owl Animal Hospital, Lotte Hotel, and Golf Espresso. Rolling with Dice in the middays, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock on Power 98 FM.
Get ready for an exciting afternoon with me, Ed Suarez, on the Ed Suarez Live Show, Monday through Friday. Tune in for your daily dose of motivation that will kickstart your drive, a self-care corner to nurture your soul, and stay tuned for the games and giveaways. The Ed Suarez Live Show is brought to you by Pure Swing Golf, FHB Health Center, Burger King, Rotary Sushi, GTA, Rui Spa, and Live House Guam. Tune in to Ed Suarez Live on Power 98.
You work all day. Nights are for relaxing. Tune in Monday through Thursday for Light Nights here on Wave 105 FM. Designed to help you chill and forget about the stresses of your day. The wave doesn't stop, but it sure can slow down. It's Light Nights, Monday through Thursday nights till midnight only here on the Sound of Guam. Wave 105 FM.
Good afternoon. It is 3:08 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the mushroom bacon cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread, all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
I'm a young federal employee. I've never had health insurance before, but I'm thinking I should, just in case. It's federal open season, and I'm researching Take Care's HDHP option. The payroll deduction is really low. I get money in a health savings account to use, and it puts me in control of my health care. I'm choosing Take Care's HDHP option during the federal open season. You should too. Go to takecareasia.com to learn more.
Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Hi, I'm Silas, and I'm 10 years old. Man, things are crazy these days. Why can't it be like 10 years ago? The milk was good, everyone carried me everywhere, and the music was awesome. Maybe milk's $12 a gallon now, and nobody can lift me. But we can bring the music back.
Oh, you wanted it, and now you got it. All the hits from the 2000s back on the radio. Every afternoon starting at noon with Maximum Millennium. Maximum Millennium, only here on the Sound of Guam, Wave 105.1 FM.
The Brightside is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. GTA, we start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at SubwayPacific.com is powered by Good to Go, We Deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Craving Italian? Swing by Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Dive into our super pizza, enjoy creamy spaghetti carbonara, or savor the rich fettuccine alfredo. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Taste the best of Italy today at Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Inalahan near the Bear Rock and the St. Joseph Cemetery. Slow traffic on Route 16 and 27 if you're heading to the intersection near the Harmon McDonald's restaurant. Slow traffic on Route 28 Waisangsung Road in Dededo if you're trying to get to Route 1. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Sinahanya if you're coming from Hagåtña or Ordot, heading to the intersection near the Central Precinct. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Hagåtña if you're heading to the intersection near the Agana Library. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Bright Side.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
ISLA, Guam is where I'm from. Tautanu Itamoru, kingdom of our people. GUAM, island in the sun. From Jigo to Malesi, this land is all that we know. I said this land is all that we know.
Welcome back to the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. I also wanted to thank Charlie Hermosa and Dave Duenas for filling in for me on Friday. I greatly appreciate the much-needed time that I needed to be with family. So thank you so much again, Charlie Hermosa and Dave Duenas, for filling in for me last Friday. 671-922-1051 is the number, or 1052. We're online, thewave105.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. Some sports here. Well, we're going to just stick with football here because it's Monday, and so that's when they play all of the football games. And it's usually on Sunday, right? But it's Monday here. Some really close games. I watched the Bears come back and make that game even closer than I thought it was going to be against the Vikings. Actually went into overtime, 30-27. Vikings over the Bears. The Titans defeat the Texans 32-27. The Lions just handle the Colts 24-6. The Dolphins over the Patriots 34-15. Buccaneers defeat the Giants 30-7. The Cowboys figure some things out over a very surprising Commanders, the Washington Commanders, but now losing two straight, maybe three. But the Commanders lost last week to the Eagles, and then they lose to the Cowboys now. And so maybe the Commanders were just off to a really good start, because I was surprised with how well they were doing. And now things starting to come back down to reality, maybe. Still, the Cowboys are nowhere near where they need to be. And trust me, I'm going to be talking about the Niners real soon. The Chiefs defeat the Panthers 30-27. That game is actually closer than it really needed to be. The Chiefs had that game in control. The Panthers just kind of got it closer, but there was no doubt, at least from what I was seeing, of the Chiefs winning against the Panthers. The Broncos over the Raiders 29-19. The Seahawks defeat the Cardinals 16-6. The Eagles defeat the Rams 37-20. The NFC West is just, we really, we were one of the better divisions, and now nowhere close. We lose to the Packers. The Niners do 38-10. We were down like 17-0. We did not play with Brock Purdy. That was in Green Bay. No Nick Bosa either. The Packers just had their way with the running game, intercepting, I think twice, sacking our backup quarterback. Every now and then there was like just a glimpse of hope that somehow, some way we're going to figure it out and get that game close, and then either throw an interception or fumble the ball. Even Christian McCaffrey fumbles the ball later on, as he made a great run, looked like it was going to be a first down, lost the ball, gave it right back to the Packers. So it's been a very tough season. We can blame injuries, but we just have such a stacked roster that we should have pulled off some of these games. We should have been a lot closer in the standings, and right now we're like the worst in our own division, and our own division isn't great either. When we stack up against the other teams, right? So if the playoffs were to begin today, Kansas City leads everybody 10-1 on the AFC side. Then there's Buffalo 9-2, the Pittsburgh Steelers 8-3, and Houston 7-5. Those are your division leaders. Then in the AFC wild card, it's the LA Chargers at 7-3, Baltimore at 7-4, Denver at 7-5. Some teams that are right there at the bubble who still have an opportunity: Miami 5-6, Indianapolis 5-7, and then after that you're just like, I don't know about this. Cincinnati 4-7, and I'm actually surprised because I feel like Cincinnati's a lot better than their record, but they are sitting at 4-7. Then there's Cleveland at 3-8. Everybody else is practically done. It'll take a huge miracle to come back for the Jets 3-8, Tennessee 3-8. There a whole lot they have to win outright, and then hope that some of the better teams just lose a number of games for them to even have an opportunity, which is very doubtful. Well, who's very extremely doubtful, well, not even doubtful, they don't even have a chance anymore. New England at 3-9, Jacksonville at 2-9, and Las Vegas at 2-9. On the NFC side, Detroit 10-1, Philadelphia at 9-2. The Seattle Seahawks, who's in our division, sit at 6-5, and they're a 6-5 team in the NFC West, is the division leader. And that's why I'm saying, man, we should be there. And can we? I think we can still get into the playoffs because of how terrible the rest of our division is. We still have a number of games where we can figure some things out and even take that division. But are we better than these teams? I feel in my heart we are. But, Seattle just recently beat us. The LA Rams is coming up. Same with Arizona. They're coming up, and we'll see. I don't think that, obviously, with the injuries, we're not going to be better than them. But if we can get everybody on the field and play 49er football, I think we can sneak into the playoffs. I don't think we're going to be able to sneak into the playoffs through the wild card. We have that opportunity to get through by winning the division. Atlanta is also at 6-5. Then there's Minnesota, who's, to be honest with you, the only reason why they're not number one is because Detroit Lions are just even hotter than they are. So Minnesota's at 9-2. Green Bay, who just beat us, 8-3, and it was in Green Bay. We don't have our starting quarterback, but to be honest with you, even if we had Brock Purdy, our defense just stunk. Green Bay's offense was just able to do whatever they wanted. They were very good on third down, and so Green Bay's just a better team. But again, I still have hope that if the Niners stay healthy or get healthy, figure out a way to win the division, we could surprise some of these other teams. We have the team built to beat teams like Minnesota, like Green Bay. And even if we play perfect football, which we can beat Detroit and Philly. Washington, like I mentioned, surprised how well they've done, but they've lost. Okay, they did lose 3 straight, and so they had a great start to the season, but now losing 3 straight, they're now at 7-5. Arizona 6-5, Tampa Bay 5-6, the LA Rams 5-6, and then there is us 5-6. All the way down there. We need to jump over Washington, Arizona, Tampa Bay, and the LA Rams just to get into the playoffs. But again, I just think that winning our division will be the easier way to get into the playoffs. At 5-6 and still not being able to win our division, teams like Minnesota and Green Bay, and we beat Tampa Bay, but if Washington strings together a couple more wins, we might not be able to catch up with Washington. And then obviously Arizona and the LA Rams, if we can't beat them, we don't have a chance winning our division, and we don't have a chance getting into the NFC wild card. The New Orleans Saints are 4-7, Chicago 4-7, Dallas worse than us at 4-7, but they were able to beat the Washington Commanders today. Carolina 3-8, and the New York Giants 2-9. It is week 12, and so week 13 we play the Bills, who's going to be tough. Then the Bears, which we have to win them. Win. We have to beat the Rams. We have to beat the Dolphins. The Lions, again, they're the super hot team, but we were able to come from behind last year when we were down and people were counting us out, and we were able to beat the Detroit Lions by a whole bunch of points to get it back into the Super Bowl. And then week 18, it's the Cardinals at Arizona. So it's going to be tough. We put ourselves in this position, though. So even if we lose to the Bills next week, who are 9-2, teams that in our division, because we, stink. The Cardinals face the Vikings. So the Cardinals could lose that game, and by some miracle, the Rams and the Seahawks lose to the Jets and the Rams lose to the Saints. We're right back in there. We're right there fighting for the division. But again, we put ourselves in the position to be at the bottom of our division and now have to win the second half of our season against some really tough teams like the Bills and the Lions, and then win against the Rams and the Cardinals, and hope that those teams also lose games, which is never fun. It's never fun to depend on other teams to lose to get ourselves into the playoffs. 3:25 in the afternoon. Let me see here. So I know we're going to be speaking to Dr. Mary Okada Wednesday on the free college at GCC, but the release did come out last Friday. And so basically, it's a really cool program here. It's free college for qualifying students at the Guam Community College, right? And this is for qualifying students for spring 2025, which starts in on January 8th. So to qualify, students must major in one of the designated associate degree programs or two of the designated construction trade certificate programs. And you can find the list of programs and certificates at guam.cc.edu/free college. And so applicants for the free college program must submit and complete an official educational transcript. Submit a completed official educational transcript. They will not accept a diploma. You also must be a U.S. citizen or permanent resident. Fill out the free application for the federal student aid regardless of their qualification status. That's FAFSA. Enroll on a full-time basis and must maintain a cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher. Students who do not complete their degree or certificate program will be required to pay back tuition and related fees. For applicants who are eligible for partial funding through FAFSA, free college will cover the remaining amount for tuition and fees. And so to start, you can fill out the online free college application, or you can go in person at the GCC campus in Manilao. Once the application is processed, students will receive an email containing their student information, basically the My GCC account, and then further instructions on registering for classes will be provided. You can also call this number here, 671-735-5531. That's 735-5531. And so when I go on to this to the site for free college at GCC, the associate degree programs that you can enroll for free again is Associate of Arts and Education, an Associate's in Accounting, an Associate's in Civil Engineering Technology, also IT, formerly Computer Networking, that's Information Technology. You can also take classes for free and get an Associate's in Pre-Architectural Drafting, and Associates in Surveying Technology. And then you can also major in two of the following construction certificate programs. Computer-aided design and drafting, construction technology with the carpentry track, also the electricity track. There's the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, the HVAC track. There's masonry, there's plumbing, there's reinforcing metal worker, there's welding, and then there's a certificate in surveying technology. And those certificate programs are all available to you, and you can take up to two of those for free through the Guam Community College. Again, submit an official transcript. Again, diplomas are not going to be accepted. Satisfy the same citizenship requirements as the current federal student aid program. That's U.S. citizenship or permanent residence. Students must be enrolled on a full-time basis. Students must comply with minimum enrollment status. Student must maintain a GPA of 2.5, and then approximately 1 year of study remains for those who wish to pursue an associate degree in a specific field. Students will pay back tuition and related fees if they choose to drop out of the program. That's important to note there. Guam Community College continues to pave the way to respond to the needs of the community as far as building up a workforce. And now they're making it extremely accessible by making it not just affordable, but free for our residents. So definitely take advantage of this. If there's anybody that you know of that is looking into going to college, I highly encourage you to go check out Guam Community College and see how they can assist you. And if any of these got your interest, or just lead them to guamcc.edu/free college, and they can check it out for themselves and see if these things, if any of these associate degree programs or certificate programs pique their interest. But even more so, if they just want to advance their life, to, you know, better themselves too, learn something new, provide for not just themselves but their family, look into this stuff. It's guamcc.edu/free college. 3:32 in the afternoon. We'll take the break. On the other side, some other topics I haven't even touched on. Well, I guess we'll stick with education, right? Because, again, Dr. Mary Okada was on with Patty Arroyo this morning, and they were talking about a survey that GDOE has out for public school stakeholders, right? So Dr. Mary Okada is also the chairperson for the Guam Department of Education. And so I listened to that interview, and some things definitely stood out. And so we'll talk about that on the other side, and then also give you the information on that survey that you can fill out as well, right here on Wave 105.
There is a new star in the food world.
Out of the way, kale. Beans have become the new health hero.
Every week, I meal prep a dense bean salad, which is a dense salad packed with veggies, tons of protein, and a vinegar-based dressing.
A dedicated TikTok account has more than 2.7 million followers.
It's basically the only thing that ensures I get enough protein and vegetables throughout the week.
High in protein, fiber, iron, potassium, and folate, plus low in fat. One nutritionist tells the Wall Street Journal beans are a nutrient powerhouse that can help lower blood pressure and cholesterol. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
You may have to scramble to track down some eggs for holiday baking. Some stores are running short of eggs, especially those in states requiring eggs from cage-free hens as cases of bird flu spreads from wild birds to commercial flocks. 60% of bird flu cases recently detected involved cage-free farms. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
What was that?
That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Hey, what's going on, Guam? Dicey Dice here, and I'm inviting you to join me on Power 98 Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are covering anything and everything from entertainment, headlines. We are doing sports, giveaways, and more. And don't forget, the show is all being brought to you by Rigoroa Laguna Guam Resort, McDonald's. I'm loving it. Shouts out going out to Vitali's Italian Restaurant, Wise Owl Animal Hospital, Lotte Hotel, and Golf Espresso. Rolling with Dice in the middays, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock on Power 98 FM.
KFC's hot wings are back and better than ever. Hand-breaded to crispy golden perfection, KFC's hot wings pack a punch of bold, fiery flavor in every bite. Freshly made throughout the day, fiery and finger-licking good. It's everything you love about KFC turned all the way up. So head to your nearest KFC and grab KFC hot wings before they fly away. KFC hot wings. It's finger-licking good.
Young surprise! I'm back on Wave 105. It's your girl Nene every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Catch your island music tidal wave with Nene. Brought to you by San Lorenzo Laundromat.
Now available at GTA. iPhone 16. Hello, Apple Intelligence. iPhone 16 now features Apple Intelligence, the personal intelligence system that helps you write, express yourself, and get things done effortlessly. For a limited time when you purchase iPhone 16, get a free $300 Visa gift card and a power accessories bundle with any new unlimited wireless plan on device installment. That's a value of $450. Terms and conditions apply. Visit gta.net for more information. GTA, we start with you.
Eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at SubwayPacific.com for pickup at your convenience or delivery right to your doorstep. Online ordering at SubwayPacific.com is powered by Good To Go. We deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Hi, I'm Silas, and I'm 10 years old. Man, things are crazy these days. Why can't it be like 10 years ago? The milk was good, everyone carried me everywhere, and the music was awesome. Maybe milk's $12 a gallon now, and nobody can lift me. But we can bring the music back.
Oh, you wanted it, and now you got it. All the hits from the 2000s back on the radio. Every afternoon starting at noon with Maximum Millennium. Maximum Millennium, only here on the Sound of Guam, Wave 105.1 FM.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl, equivalent to a few grains of salt, to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the radio stations of Glimpses Media Group, Wave 105 FM, and Power 98. Hafa Adai, everybody, it's me, Kyle Mandapat.
Hafa Adai, it's Reese.
And we want you to tune into the Morning Blender every single day.
That's right, there's a lot of things to do. Parties, birthdays to celebrate, songs to play, and of course some horoscopes if you're trying to find out about your day.
And plenty of free stuff too.
That's right, all the free food and so much more.
So tune in to the Morning Blender weekday 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. right here on
Power 98.
Presented by Burger King,
Aganya Shopping Center,
Subway,
Pat's Tinting and Detailing,
and Chili's.
Now it's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Outer Loop north and southbound, as well as Route 6 if you're heading to the intersection in front of the governor's office. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Tumaning southbound if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Route 30. Heavy traffic on Route 8 in Barragata if you're heading to the intersection near the fire station. Heavy traffic on Route 3 in Dededo if you're passing the GRMC hospital heading to the intersection on Route 1. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14, Challenge San Antonio into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
Welcome back to the Bright Side right here on Wave 105. My name is Pauly Suba. Our number is 671-922-1051 or 1052. We're streaming online, thewave105.com, as well as on our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And so GDOE, they are doing a stakeholder survey, right? For the 2026 budget. GDOE, working on the fiscal year 2026 budget, wants to hear from the community. The budget stakeholder survey is now open for the community to provide their input on the budget process. GDOE, according to this release, values the opinions of parents, students, teachers, and staff and encourages them to complete the survey as soon as possible. The survey will close on December 6th, and the results will be used in the budget planning process for the next fiscal year. The purpose of the survey is to collect input and recommendations from our stakeholders on various aspects of our budget planning, such as capital improvement, equipment, supplies, and personnel. We also welcome any other comments or suggestions that you think are relevant and helpful for our budget process. Members of the island community can also access the fiscal year 26 stakeholder survey. There's a link here that I have, but it's, again, going to be difficult for you to copy this based on the radio. So what I can do is I can send this again to put this. Here we go. I'm just going to put this whole thing. I'm just going to copy this whole thing, and I'm going to send this to Reese. I'm sorry, Issa. And she'll put it on this YouTube. Let me see. I'll send this to you, Issa. And then people can follow this, or can go and jump on this link if they like, rather than trying to guess try to remember all of these numbers and letters, and if they're capital letters too, by me just reading it out on the radio, which is it's just not going to work out. So when this release obviously came out on November 18th, and the budget survey is not only a way to share your opinions, each school will have a stakeholder input session that you can join online or in person as stipulated below. These sessions will help the schools understand the needs and preferences of their school communities. And so a couple of them are even starting today. Like BP Carbolito is starting today at 5:30 p.m. There's a Zoom link. A number of them are, starting tomorrow, and it goes all the way until December 5th is when you can join these Zoom links, or just go to their school cafeterias. Everyone's different. Like even Chief Brody Memorial Elementary School, they're doing one on November 27th at 6 p.m. at the Harmon McDonald's. And there are different ones at cafeterias. And then there are some that are on Zoom. So it really just depends. You call your school and let them know that you're going to be interested in taking these, either the survey or these input sessions is what they're calling them. But you'll have to call your respective school. Otherwise, you can just take the survey with the link that's provided on our YouTube. And if it's not there, it will be soon. And so Dr. Mary Okada, she was on with Patty Arroyo this morning, and she just talked about some of the issues that GDOE has been facing for the last year, 2 years. And what Dr. Eric Swanson is and his leadership is doing to get them to live within their means. Understanding that the American Rescue Plan funds is no longer available after fiscal year 2025. And so all projects using the ARP funds must be completed by 2026. There are a number of schools already that are set to, if they haven't already started their construction or their refurbishment using ARP funds, they're going to start very soon. A lot of the contracts have already been awarded, and so they're moving forward with that. The department must continue to address operational needs and critical construction improvement projects. Again, a number of these construction improvement projects are being funded by ARP funds that was directly given to GDOE. It's not so GDOE was awarded their own separate ARP funds. As far as operational needs, daily activities required to run the schools and support teaching and learning need to be addressed, and that's where the survey comes in. She talked about long-term projects to improve school facilities. Also, knowing that for right now, the schools are going to be inspected every year. And so she didn't necessarily say that things would move to, or that GDOE would work on trying to get these inspections done every other year. She didn't mention anything like that. But I have heard leadership from GDOE and then the superintendent, Eric Swanson, himself talk about that it didn't work out this time around, and basically their oversight is not in favor of it, which is Senator Chris Barnett, and he's also said it on the record that he's not for that. He's not, I wouldn't just say he, but the legislature has worked really hard through his leadership and oversight over GDOE to get this all in place. And it even happened prior to. So basically the legislature said these schools need to be inspected physically. The fact that they haven't is not, it's, we're not having that anymore. So you have 5 years to basically come up with a strategy to have your schools ready to be inspected by public health physically every year. And they'll need to pass. So 5 years is come and gone, but then Typhoon Mauer happens. And so they were, again, working with the legislature to try to allow them to still open and operate pending an inspection. And we all know how that all worked out. We had to delay the opening of the school because the legislature never approved it, right? So much so where even the governor said, listen, give me transfer authority to me and I'll get these schools open. And then the legislature just basically said, hell no, we're not doing that either. But even after all of that, right, the governor still got her SORT team through her education liaison, former Speaker Judy Wampat, and the government of Guam, a number of government of Guam agencies, the military, senators' offices. Senator Chris Barnett has, his office and himself have gone out and they have done the hard work to get these schools ready. So here we are now. We're in a good place where this shouldn't be an issue, right? And also GDOE has got a number of schools passing their re-inspections already. But you do have 42 schools, or 41. And again, going to these media briefings, they don't say outright that they can't do this. They can, but they prefer to go bi-yearly. And it just alleviates some of the stress on their maintenance team. I honestly don't even know. Like, the governor has already said it too. You need to build up your maintenance team so that we don't go through this again. Knowing that a lot of the hard work has been done, I think they'll be able to, and they have to. They have to. Otherwise, I think the public is really going to be up in arms and just say, really? Again? We can't open the schools again? Here we go again. I think they're going to really work hard to make sure that this happens so that we open on time. And I believe they can do it. But the following year, I don't know. And that's why I'm seeing them even say out loud that they would prefer that they go every other year. So you split these schools up in half. Half of them will get inspected. Let's just say they get the new chairperson on education to agree that which is Vince Borja, Senator-elect Vince Borja. They get them to inspect half the schools this year and then the other half next year. That's kind of where they want to go. And if it doesn't happen this school year, they get them all re-inspected and passed to go. I do believe that they're going to continue to have those conversations with the new chairman of education to push that initiative and tell their story to Vince Borja, share their concerns, and say, this is more realistic. This makes the most sense given the budget that we're given. But as schools start to reassess, they're going to have schools on the chopping block to decommission. I was at the Dededo Mayor's Municipal Planning Committee, and I was there to listen to them vote on renaming streets for the village of Dededo, because we're seeing that this is happening more often. And what I saw were two other things. One, that the Dededo residents did not want, the ones that showed up, did not want the solar farm over at the Guam International Country Club. And then they ended up going the next day to the Chamorro Land Trust Commission, right? Also to say they didn't want it. And I believe that that's not going to happen, at least with this legislature. Because when I look at what bills are up to vote on, that bill to have the Guam International Country Club go from a golf course to a solar farm is not in the December session. So in my mind, it's dead. But also I saw that night was Mayor Melissa Savares sharing with the council that GDOE has come to her, or had come to her, and said they would like to refurbish Juan M. Guerrero into a middle school. And also, well, they came to her with the idea. And also, it would be beneficial that Juan M. Guerrero turns into a middle school rather than Tamuning Elementary, rather than Chief Brody Elementary, because it's got a bigger facility than Chief Brody Elementary School to turn that over to a middle school. But also, it's got soccer fields already there. It's got a gymnasium already there. And so Mayor Savares said that's not going to work. Why is it not going to work? Because that is for the residents of Dededo. And so obviously the conversation needs to be fleshed out more. But she had already stated that the municipal planning, or more so the residents of Dededo, are not going to agree to that. Tamuning needs a middle school. Dededo does not. And so that was interesting to me, because you do have Tamuning students going to Juan M. Guerrero. Well, residents, the residents of Tamuning, some of them go to Juan M. Guerrero, and some of them go to Chief Brody Elementary. And even the mayor of Dededo was saying, Melissa Savares was saying, Chief Brody would be more ideal. But if you look at Chief Brody Elementary, it just doesn't. How are they going to fulfill the? How are they going to build a middle school on that limited space there? They'll have to build up. And from my understanding, listening to Superintendent Eric Swanson as well, is he has told us, the media, that that school's for little people, like elementary students. It's not built, it's not retrofitted for bigger kids, middle school kids. So on a cost analysis, it would make more sense to turn Tamuning Elementary School or Juan M. Guerrero into a middle school. And even Dededo Mayor Melissa Savares was talking about, they knew that Tamuning needed, the residents of Tamuning definitely needed a middle school closer to the village of Tamuning when we were going through the pandemic. Because what happened? Those kids go to Jose Rios. And what happened when there was no instructional days? They had to stay home. Well, what also was GDOE providing? And what also does GDOE provide after Typhoon Mawar? And then when the schools couldn't open this year, they provided lunch. And there are a number of Tamuning residents that could not get down to Jose Rios to go get the food. And they had to work with the Tamuning mayor to get food for these middle schoolers in Tamuning that have their parents and guardians had no way to get down there, or it became extremely difficult for them to get down there to get their lunch and also get their hard copies for the students in the village of Tamuning that don't have internet. And so that conversation it has to continue well into fiscal year 2025. And how do they address that issue? And the Dededo mayor, Melissa Zavares, also said that none of the other schools in Dededo are on the chopping block because they're not dealing with a decrease in population. Obviously, Dededo, Jigo, those villages are dense, more populated. It's the southern schools where they're really looking at those schools and saying, wow, we got 8 kids in this classroom. Which is also unfortunate too. We're KGUM-FM in Hagatna, Guam. It's unfortunate too because the southern villages, and it's not just the schools, but the southern villages always get the short end of the stick. And you'll even listen when they first started having the conversation of the decommissioning of schools and they started down south, you heard those residents very vocal, not happy. And so those kinds of conversations are going to continue, and how do they address it? And then understanding that the budget isn't what it used to be, right? They've got a smaller budget and they have a smaller population. And we'll see how it all unfolds, but I think when you listen to the plan and when you hear them share the concerns and you see the history of how things have happened, not just here in Guam, but in other school districts where schools close down. That's just the reality. And kids get redistricted. For me, the historical part of it, of losing a school, is sad, but the fiscal responsibility part of it is the priority. We're going to take the break. 4:03 in the afternoon. We've got another look at your CBS News and another look at your Real Deal Traffic Report right here on Wave 105.
KGUM-FM, Hagatna, Guam. The sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Matt Piper. The travel rush to get home for the holidays is already happening. CBS News New York's Derek Waller talked to airline officials at Newark Airport about getting millions of people to their destinations and back.
What's the busiest day this week?
The busiest day will be Sunday, for sure.
That's John Wiegand, United's Operations Managing Director at Newark Airport, where more people than ever are flying the friendly skies.
Yeah, Derek, we're up almost 8, 9, 10%.
The TSA says close to 3 million people will fly on Tuesday and Wednesday, but next Sunday could crack 3 million, an all-time record.
Well, the Salvation Army is hoping people will focus on the giving part of Thanksgiving this holiday. CBS News Philadelphia's Aziza Schuler reports.
It may be getting cold outside, but warm giving hearts are what make the season bright, as well as holiday horns and Eagles drumline and our cheerful old friend Ben Franklin to kick off the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign.
The drive started in San Francisco in 1891. There's a virtual hearing tomorrow in Los Angeles Superior Court for Lyle and Eric Menendez. Lawyers hope the court will review new evidence and give the brothers new sentences, which could lead to their release. CBS News legal analyst Thane Rosenbaum looks ahead.
If the Menendez brothers are resentenced to lesser crimes that would eliminate the life sentence without parole of the original sentence, it would still need to be approved by the state parole board and the governor of California. Meanwhile, there is a possibility that the governor will simply grant them clemency, which would make other court appearances unnecessary. It does seem as if the governor and the outgoing DA have no objection at all to early release.
Overseas, it's been another violent weekend in the Middle East. Reporter Linda Gradstein is in Jerusalem.
In one of the heaviest daily barrages at northern and central Israel, Hezbollah fired 250 rockets at Israel, injuring several Israelis and causing property damage. The Israeli army called on civilians near 10 buildings in Beirut's southern suburbs to evacuate immediately ahead of Israeli airstrikes. The heavy fire came amid reports that progress is being made on a ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah.
Hyundai and Kia are recalling more than 208,000 electric vehicles. They can lose drive power, increasing the risk of a crash. The recall covers more than 145,000 Hyundai and Genesis models. In the Kia one, about 63,000 EV6 vehicles are impacted. We're told car dealers will inspect and replace the control unit and a fuse if needed, as well as update all the software. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Christmas decorations are already going up in many homes, but here's more on one part of decorating you may not have considered.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
But what about smelling like Christmas? Harry Slatkin, dubbed the king of home fragrance by the New York Times, says it's an important part of the holiday experience.
If you have a fake or artificial tree, wreath, or garland, which most do now, the only way to make it smell like the old days when it was real is to bring scent into your home.
Slatkin just launched a new 10-item collection in partnership with his good friend, singer Elton John, on QVC this weekend.
I said to Elton, well, only if you're very involved. I want this to be very personal. I know how much you love home fragrance.
Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
And in case you are counting, there are 31 days left until Christmas. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Balanced, fair, thoughtful. Wave 105 FM.
Good afternoon. It is 4:10 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the mushroom bacon cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
Pat's Tinting and Detailing is celebrating Thanksgiving with $75 off auto detailing, $50 off auto ceramic tint. Enjoy our VIP premium wash and wax starting at $99. So make your car the talk of the town. Call 647-SLAM.
Chili's wants to help you celebrate this holiday season with a gift for everyone. Purchase a $50 gift card at Chili's and receive a $10 coupon for yourself. Give a gift, get a gift. At Chili's, great value and memories happen here.
One pill can kill. Fake pills often contain fentanyl. It only takes 2 milligrams of fentanyl equivalent to a few grains of salt to be lethal. Fake pills are often sold on social media platforms, making them available to anyone with a smartphone.
Talk early and often to youth about the dangers of misusing prescription drugs and the lethal dangers of counterfeit drugs laced with fentanyl.
Stay informed, stay safe. One pill can kill.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the radio stations of Glimpses Media Group, Wave 105 FM and Power 98.
Hafa Adai, Guam, Johnny Atulai here, inviting you to tune in to Vet Talk Show every Wednesday from 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Join the wave of conversation where Miss Bobby and I address veterans' concerns and benefits for you, only on Wave 105.1 FM.
Hey, what's going on, Guam? Dicey Dice here, and I'm inviting you to join me on Power 98 Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. all the way to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are covering anything and everything from entertainment, headlines. We are doing sports, giveaways, and more. And don't forget, the show is all being brought to you by Rigoroa Laguna Guam Resort, McDonald's. I'm loving it. Shouts out going out to Vitali's Italian Restaurant, Wise Owl Animal Hospital, Lotte Hotel, and Golf Espresso. Rolling with dice in the middays, Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 o'clock on Power 98 FM.
The Brightside is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. GTA, we start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at subwaypacific.com is powered by Good to Go, we deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Craving Italian? Swing by Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Dive into our super pizza, enjoy creamy spaghetti carbonara, or savor the rich fettuccine Alfredo. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Taste the best of Italy today at Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Slow traffic on Route 10 and 8 in Barragata if you're heading to the intersection near the fire station. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Chalapago if you're passing the Our Lady of Peace Church, heading to the intersection that leads to Route 10 or Zonia. Slow traffic on Route 27 if you're heading to the intersection near the Harmon McDonald's restaurant. Slow traffic on Route 3 in Dededo if you're passing the GRMC Hospital, heading to the intersection on Route 1. Slow traffic on Route 1 at a loop northbound if you're heading to the intersection in front of the governor's office. And now for your traffic advisory of the week. From Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th, between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m., motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Maning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
ran into this girl the night before. She reminded me of a golden shore. She was nothing like your average girl next door. She liked DVDs, tattoos, and Paramore. She'd say, Hafa Adai, por favor. And I'd say, sa dispensa tu gaigi color. And she'd paint colors round the galaxies.
Welcome back to the Brightside right here on Wave 105. My name is Pauly Suba. 4:16 in the afternoon. Our number is 671-922-1051 or 1052. We're also online, thewave105.com, and our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. There's a release that came out on Friday about the Hudson Lagu, or meaning wood of the north or foreign wood. The mother tree had died. The release came out from Marine Corps Base Camp Blas. And basically the Cerenthus nelsoni is a tree species found only in Guam and Rota. The Chamorro name for the Cerenthus tree in Guam is Hudson Lagu. In Rota, it's Trunkun Guafi, meaning fire tree. Specimens were first collected in the late 1800s and then again in 1918 by Peter Nelson, from whom the species was described by Elmer Merrill. Although there is no remaining knowledge of traditional uses of the tree in Chamorro culture, early navigator Louis Claude de Friencinet listed Hudson Lagu as a tree suitable for timber in his travel journals in the 1800s. Given the tree's full stature and strength, it would have been suitable for shelter or canoe building. In 1987, Cerenthus nelsoni was listed as endangered by the United States Fish and Wildlife Service due to its rarity and threats to its survival. It said here the single mature tree in Guam, located at Retidian Point, also known as Latexan in Chamorro, succumbed to severe damage sustained during Typhoon Mauer in May of 2023. By September of 2024, there was no living tissue observed on the decomposing remains of the tree. Leading up to the typhoon, the Retidian tree was already in very poor condition due to a split trunk that led to heart rot, which worsened over two decades and had insect infestations. Aside from typhoons, major threats to the Cerenthus tree include introduced insect predators and herbivores. Sucking insects can defoliate young trees within 24 hours. It says here, deer eat the seedlings, and then pigs can uproot or disturb the seedlings, causing them to dry up and die. Since the 1990s, management projects have been carried out through the collaboration of the Commonwealth of Northern Mariana Islands, Department of Lands and Natural Resources, the Department of the Navy, the Government of Guam's Department of Agriculture, and the University of Guam, and the USF Fish and Wildlife. These efforts include barriers to keep ungulates away, maintenance monitoring of the Retidian mature tree and its surrounding seedlings. Ungulates like the deer, those insects, the pigs. It says mature tree and its surrounding seedlings, seed collection and storage, development of promulgation techniques, and the outplanting and maintenance of promulgated seedlings. More recent management efforts include collecting 176 seedlings at the Retidian site, stabilizing these collected plants at UOG's Guam Plant Extinction Prevention Program nursery, followed by the outplanting of healthy seedlings at the Forest Enhancement Site on Marine Corps Base Camp Blas. To preserve the genetics of the last mature tree in Guam, Joint Region Marianas will continue maintenance of young trees that originated from the Retidian mother tree. 99 saplings growing at the Marine Corps Base Camp Blas Mason Live Fire Training Range Complex, 8 saplings growing at Anderson Air Force Base, and 100 saplings outplanted in the Marine Corps Base Camp Blaz Cagewood Forest Enhancement Site. Through the collection and specialized storage of seeds since 2014, the future promulgation of the 4,007 seeds from the Ratidian tree lineage will be utilized to continue the outplanting of trees in Guam and ungulate-free fenced areas. The release further states, while not all of the young plants are guaranteed to reach maturity, continued federal and local investment, advances in propagation techniques, and strong stakeholder support offer hope for the species recovery on lands under both civilian and military management. Thanks to the efforts of Guam's conservation managers, plant specialists, and community members, there is hope that Cerinthes trees will thrive once again across the island's forests, standing tall as living symbols of resilience, rooted in the enduring memory of the fallen but unconquered mother tree at Ratidian. Again, this is a release from Marine Corps Base Camp Blaz, and it was released by their Public Information Officer, Major Diane Rosenfeld. It was sad when I saw the release, and then also it shares there's a photo of it. There's also a video of it as well, and it's just, it's one of those things, right? Because the mother tree, or the Hagen Ladzu, it's like it's, with all of that effort to save the one tree, there were conversations, there were releases saying, even after Typhoon Mawar, that there was still like hope that, they're going to watch it. They're going to keep track of it and monitor the tree. And then when this release came out, you kind of already knew, or that it was not looking good. But it was more of this conversation, more of like what they're stating. There is hope that it will thrive once again, that the tree, there's hope for that tree to heal itself. But then when you saw the way the tree looked, it was like, I don't know. I mean, this tree was extremely important. There were other conversations or trees in the community that also people were concerned about, where they were worried that it was going to get chopped down. I remember there was one across Adelup. I don't know if you remember Jackson's Car Wash. I think it was Jackson, where the mobile gas station is across Adelup. It's a big tree. I don't even know, to be honest with you, if it was like indigenous to Guam, but the owner cut it down. Said the tree's been dead, but people were not happy when they're like, well, why'd you cut down that tree? Well, they said it wasn't a healthy tree. And the roots were like breaking up the concrete and whatnot. And there were concerned citizens about that. But this specific one like dates back to this tree. There was a lot of effort with the military as well. And like they're saying, the Fish and Wildlife, DOAG, to try to basically hope that this tree could heal itself. But when you saw that the tree had already it basically looked like thunder or not thunder, lightning had hit it and, broke it in half. There was not much hope. And then now this release here, basically it's almost like going to reading an obituary. At least that's how I felt when I saw this release. It was as though somebody in your family, like a great-grandmother or a great-grandfather, that you knew wasn't doing well, but they're the matriarch of your family, and so obviously you don't want them to go. And so the release, when it came out on Friday, for me, it was as though I was reading or getting a phone call from a family member saying, your great-grandmother has gone. And I'm grateful, too, that there are still these agencies that understand the importance of trying to preserve the saplings and replant them, the 176 seedlings, stabilize them, so that way we can have these trees, they can grow and be healthy, and the future generations can be able to sit underneath it, right? I mean, if you really think about it, what is that proverb of, you don't grow a tree for yourself, you grow trees for the next generation, right? You grow a tree, or you plant a tree knowing you're never going to sit in the shade of this tree, but your grandchildren will. The future generations, your lineage, your people that, come after you will. And so that part gives me hope, knowing that they recognize this, and the agencies are, working hard. The military is working hard to preserve the saplings of this tree. I think even more so, though, that we as a community track it even more so, that we continue to let everybody know that we are concerned about these saplings. We want to know more. How are they doing? Where are we with them? Where are they being planted? Can we go visit them? Can we see how you're preserving them? Because I think one of the concerns is and I'm not saying that they're not, but when you put out a release 4 or 6 months ago saying we're doing every effort to protect this specific tree, or even a year ago, and we don't hear much, then there are voices in the community that will say, were you really protecting this tree? And so to alleviate all of that, more field trips need to be done, more community outreach needs to be done, and more communication just needs to be done on a more consistent basis. It cannot be one release saying doesn't look good, and then a year later the next release is the tree died. 4:30 in the afternoon. We'll take the break. We've got another look at some local news, another look at the Real Deal traffic report, and then we'll touch on what has been really in the front page of the Guam Daily Post, the PDN. The governor was on this morning with Patty Arroyo. The conversations of the hospital and the properties in Mangilao, Back Road Mangilao, and how the government, GURA, is going to be basically working with some of the landowners. And I'm sure you've already read the headlines. I'm sure you've already seen or read the paper or listened to the conversations that it is all starting. The conversation now has developed into eminent domain. So we'll have that conversation on the other side of these right here on Wave 105.
Treat yourself this holiday season with a festive holiday pie. Creamy custard in a buttery golden crust. Grab yours today only at McDonald's. Now for your local headlines being brought to you by McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Buenas and Hafa Adai. My name is Skylar Obispo. Here's the latest from the Marianas Business Journal. A man was struck by a motor vehicle on Sunday in the early morning on Route 1 in Dedido. According to a statement issued by the Guam Fire Department, GFD units responded to a reported auto versus pedestrian accident near the Guam Farmers Market at 2 a.m. The victim was described by GFD as a male in his late 30s. GFD medics transported the victim to the Guam Regional Medical City, suffering serious injuries. In more news, the Guam Community College is offering its free college program for eligible students for the upcoming spring semester. According to a release by the college, eligible students must major in one of the designated associate degree programs or two of the designated construction trade certificate programs. Some of the qualifying programs include education, accounting, electricity, and masonry. All applicants must be a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, submit their completed official educational transcripts, fill out their FAFSA application, and be enrolled on a full-time basis with a consistent cumulative GPA of 2.5 or higher. Applications and the full list of eligible programs and requirements can be found on the GCC website. Reporting for the Marianas Business Journal, the Wave 105, and Power 98, I'm Skylar Obispo.
Wicked took in some big ticket sales this weekend. Correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York on one way you can bring the movie into holiday travels.
Wicked cast a spell at the box office in its opening weekend. Popular. The film is not just popular with moviegoers. A Wicked-themed suite at New York Hilton Midtown has been a near sellout, so the hotel is extending availability through January 26th. It features plenty of sparkle befitting of a very good witch. Wicked cocktails are also available at Hilton hotels in major cities. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Chuck Woolery, the smooth-talking game show host of Wheel of Fortune, Love Connection, and Scrabble, has died. He was inducted into the American TV Game Show Hall of Fame in 2007 and earned a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1978. Chuck Woolery was 83. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
When you first tasted our spicy chicken McNuggets, lightly breaded in tempura and made with aged cayenne, maybe that cayenne blend made you cry a little. Well, now you can happy cry on your way to McDonald's, because they're back. Spicy chicken McNuggets, they're back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Buenas and Hafa Adai. This is Tess Reyes-Burrier, Public Information Officer from Guam Department of Education. Tune in every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1 FM. Eduquentas highlights the positive contribution of each student, teachers, and staff. Broadcasting every Friday, offering an interactive discussion and engagement with key stakeholders in the community. Once again, tune in every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1 FM, the sound of Guam.
KFC's hot wings are back and better than ever. Hand-breaded to crispy golden perfection, KFC's hot wings pack a punch of bold, fiery flavor in every bite. Freshly made throughout the day, fiery and finger-licking good. It's everything you love about KFC turned all the way up. So head to your nearest KFC and grab KFC hot wings before they fly away. KFC hot wings. It's finger-licking good.
You work all day. Nights are for relaxing. Tune in Monday through Thursday for Light Nights here on Wave 105 FM. Designed to help you chill and forget about the stresses of your day. The wave doesn't stop, but it sure can slow down. It's Light Nights, Monday through Thursday nights till midnight only here on the Sound of Guam. Wave 105 FM.
The charm and history of Italian food is expressed at Vitali's Italian Restaurant with signature dishes, the tour of Italy, spaghetti carbonara, linguine clam, and delightful pizza with red and white wines to pair nicely with your appetizer of choice. So dine in and enjoy the taste of Italy at Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Open Monday to Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 a.m. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Vitali's Italian Restaurant located in the heart of Tumon.
Hi, I'm Silas, and I'm 10 years old. Man, things are crazy these days. Why can't it be like 10 years ago? The milk was good, everyone carried me everywhere, and the music was awesome. Maybe milk's $12 a gallon now, and nobody can lift me. But we can bring the music back.
Oh, you wanted it, and now you got it. All the hits from the 2000s back on the radio. Every afternoon starting at noon with Maximum Millennium. Maximum Millennium, only here on the Sound of Guam, Wave 105.1 FM.
Chili's wants to help you celebrate this holiday season with a gift for everyone. Purchase a $50 gift card at Chili's and receive a $10 coupon for yourself. Give a gift, get a gift. At Chili's, great value and memories happen here.
Get ready for an exciting afternoon with me, Ed Suarez, on the Ed Suarez Live Show, Monday through Friday. Tune in for your daily dose of motivation that will kickstart your drive, a self-care corner to nurture your soul, and stay tuned for the games and giveaways. The Ed Suarez Live Show is brought to you by Pure Swing Golf, FHB Health Center, Burger King, Rotary Sushi, GTA, Rui Spa, and Live House Guam. Tune in to Ed Suarez Live on Power 98.
Buenas and Hafa Adai. This is Tess Reyes Burrier, Public Information Officer from Guam Department of Education. Tune in every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1 FM. Eduquentas highlights the positive contribution of each student, teachers, and staff. Broadcasting every Friday, offering an interactive discussion and engagement with key stakeholders in the community. Once again, tune in every Friday from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Wave 105.1 FM, the sound of Guam.
You work all day. Nights are for relaxing. Tune in Monday through Thursday for light nights here on Wave 105 FM. Designed to help you chill and forget about the stresses of your day. The wave doesn't stop, but it sure can slow down. It's light nights, Monday through Thursday nights till midnight only here on the Sound of Guam. Wave 105 FM.
Hi, I'm Silas, and I'm 10 years old. Man, things are crazy these days. Why can't it be like 10 years ago? The milk was good, everyone carried me everywhere, and the music was awesome. Maybe milk's $12 a gallon now, and nobody can lift me. But we can bring the music back.
Oh, you wanted it, and now you got it. All the hits from the 2000s back on the radio. Every afternoon starting at noon with Maximum Millennium. Maximum Millennium, only here on the Sound of Guam, Wave 105.1 FM. Hafa Adai, everybody, it's me, Kyle Mandapet.
Hafa Adai, it's Reese.
And we want you to tune into the Morning Blender every single day.
That's right. There's a lot of things to do. Parties, birthdays to celebrate, songs to play, and of course some horoscopes if you're trying to find out about your day.
And plenty free stuff too.
That's right. All the free food and so much more.
So tune in to the Morning Blender weekday 6 a.m. till 10 a.m. right here on
Power 98.
Presented by Burger King,
Aganya Shopping Center,
Subway,
Pat's Tinting and Detailing,
and Chili's.
Young surprise! I'm back on Wave 105. It's your girl Nene every Saturday from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m.
Catch your island music tidal wave with Nene. Brought to you by San Lorenzo Laundromat.
All right, now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Hagåtña northbound if you're coming from the intersection near the Chief Kapua Park, heading to the intersection near the U.S. Naval Cemetery. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Tamuning north and southbound if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Route 30. Slow traffic on Route 1 in Tamuning north and southbound at the intersection near the ITC building. See here. Heavy traffic on Route 1 into Tamuning if you're heading northbound coming from the intersection that leads to Route 14B, heading to the intersection that leads to Route 10A. Heavy traffic on Route 10A into Tamuning if you're coming from the intersection on Route 1, heading to the intersection in front of the Guam Airport. There's also heavy traffic on Route 1 into Tamuning northbound if you are passing northbound in Tamuning if you're passing the Girl Boy Scouts office, heading to the intersection near the John F. Kennedy High School. And now for some traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14, Challenge San Antonio into Tamuning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
Welcome back to the Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 444 in the afternoon. All right, so Gura, they're pursuing the eminent domain to acquire 7 lots off of Route 15, Manila, right, back road, for the development of a hospital and medical complex. And so, like I was saying, when there was a press conference that was set up at Adalube to announce that Gura was going to be purchasing or did purchase land for a hospital, the medical complex was going to be put to the side for now. Obviously, the priority is a new hospital, right? Things are starting to move rapidly because now having the conversation of more land to be purchased, but these landowners not necessarily happy with the amount that they're willing to buy their land from them, to now Gura Deputy Director Fernando Esteves confirming that appraisals were completed and offers were made at fair market value, and then added an incentive of up to 10% above the appraised value, as allowed by federal regulations. And then finding out that negotiations have failed because landowners, most especially Dr. Joel Joseph, the owner of Wise Owl, saying that's not the amount that he would prefer or would want. It is a touchy subject. Also noting our history of eminent domain and land takings and whatnot from the U.S. government. It doesn't necessarily sit well for me. Now, has this happened in the past? Well, conversations have been had with a number of landowners for government properties, for government lands, where the Superior Court sits was also a piece of land that had to be negotiated. I don't know if it was ever eminent domain, but from my understanding, there was trade. This land here, we're going to need it for the courts. We will give you land somewhere else. So it's not necessarily eminent domain, but understanding the importance of the government and the importance of a court needing to be in a central area. That's kind of where the conversations go. Now you can argue where the hospital's at, is that central? We can argue that all day long, which is central. What I will say from just listening to this conversation for quite some time now, I will agree with Deputy Director Fernando Esteves when he says there's no more room to build in Tamuning when you're talking about expanding. And so that's why it was important for Gura to look at Back Road Mangilaw. And then there was even the conversation where Fernando Esteves had said, we do need to look at extra land because there are other things that Gura would like to build. And we're talking about nursing homes and other facilities that basically go hand in hand with the hospital. What other facilities could be, nearby that can also that makes sense to be near a hospital? The whole time that we're having this conversation, I can hear Senator Chris Barnett talking about why it makes even more sense now over at Oka, over at Epau Point. And he said it, he even said it this morning when he went on his Instagram Live, that there already is a medical city, and it's in Tamuning with all of these facilities, with all of these clinics, all built in Tamuning. Cancer centers and whatnot. He said, if you build it over at Epau Point, we don't have to condemn anyone's land. And he even said the governor and her cabinet are sounding absolutely ridiculous, defending land condemnation and eminent domain. If we build at Epau Point, it's more manageable from a maintenance and staffing standpoint. It's going to be cheaper, is what he had said on his Instagram Live today. So there are 7 lots that are targeted for condemnation, totaling approximately 54 acres, adjacent to another 48-acre parcel already acquired, right? Already purchased by Gura. This brings the total plan area to about 100 acres. There are 2 parcels owned by Dr. Joel Joseph, and then 5 parcels owned by a Hong Yi Tian Incorporated. Gura conducted the appraisals on all lots using certified appraisers. The initial offer to Dr. Joseph was $1.3 million, and that was rejected. And then a final offer to Dr. Joseph was $4.2 million, also rejected. Dr. Joseph says he claims the offers are below his expectations, do not account for the investments he made in rezoning, building plans, and equipment for the land. He's pursuing his own appraisal, but it will not be completed until after next year. He is prepared to sue the government if his property is condemned. And also, Deputy Superintendent Fernando Esteves, according to Guam PDN, says that's his right. The governor even said today it's a touchy subject. And it's also the landowner's right to fight for the land and say no. And fight all the way through. So the concern is that if he takes it to court, he has every right to do so. But all it does is it just slows it all down again. The hospital part, from my understanding, is still a go, regardless, because the extra land is for other facilities. The land that they are trying to buy from Dr. Joseph, and also from the other organization, from the other Hong Yi Tian. Again, Gura says eminent domain is a last resort. But it sounds like that is something that they're leaning towards, which is, I'll give Gura the benefit of the doubt, and probably this is all coming out because of the interviews that Guam Daily Post has had, and also the Guam PDN has had with Fernando Esteves. But we're going to find out tomorrow if they're going to be moving forward with the resolution. So the Gura board is going to meet tomorrow, and they're going to decide if they should move forward. So again, while eminent domain is a legal mechanism for the public to benefit, it does often trigger financial disputes, especially when private property is involved. And understanding why they can only go 10% and why they couldn't offer even more, because who's going to pay for this land? We're already paying for this land. But my thing was, Gura is going to use ARPA monies through the U.S. Treasury. So for me, I was like, that's how they purchased this land. This is money that has come from the U.S. Treasury. But again, I haven't had the conversation with Fernando Esteves. So that would be a question that I have, is like, can you offer even more using ARPA monies? Or we still have to stick to the law of you can only offer 10% to these owners? Because that's what they're using. That's what they use. They use the ARPA monies to pay for the first property, the first set, which I thought we were just going to focus on that and that alone and get this hospital built first. Break ground. More than likely, this hospital is not going to be finished. The construction of it won't even be finished with the governor's... the governor won't even be governor when the hospital is finally built. They've already identified land over at the University of Guam for a laboratory. So already we deviated from the original plan of having a number of facilities all close to the hospital. And I was even there when they did the site dedication for this laboratory, biosecurity laboratory, which the military, the Department of Defense, is paying for. They're paying for to build the facility. And it's going to be used by public health. And then they're going to run students from the UOG to learn at this biosecurity lab. And so my understanding was, if all went well, if everything worked out with the Eagles field, that biosecurity lab was going to be built right next to the hospital in Mangilao. And so that's not happening. And so all of this is happening in such a short amount of time. I don't see that there's a need to really move. I don't see a reason to move ahead with trying to purchase more land, especially when you're talking about, well, a landowner doesn't want to sell his land for the amount that you've offered him. He believes it's valued more than that. What do we need? We need the hospital. So, I don't know. I think we'll know even more so tomorrow's meeting, where the Gura board is going to meet to decide how they're going to be moving forward. Because if we're saying that if all the steps have gone, if we've gone through all the steps and all these steps are still saying we must purchase land and we must condemn land in order to build a hospital because GMH absolutely cannot last much longer, then yeah, that makes the most sense. But we have the land already. We have the land already to build a hospital. What are we condemning more land for? For facilities that would accompany the hospital? Because if that is what it is, then you just slow the conversation down. I think the hospital is what the focus needs to be on. Because right now you have Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center right next door to GMH. So is that what we're talking about? A Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and a Department of Public Health and Social Service building that needs to go up? And it needs to go up. The concern is that it's this administration that wants this to happen, and that's why we're moving pretty fast. Because in 2 years, a new administration takes over. Is that going to be the priority? Is this going to be the same agenda? I don't know. If it's Josh Tenorio, maybe he would like all of this controversial stuff to be addressed already by the time he takes office, rather than having this conversation now of condemning land as he is ready to become governor. Joe's on the line, right? We're KGUM FM in Hagåtña, Guam. Hafa Adai, Joe.
Hafa Adai, Pauly.
Hafa Adai, sir.
Hafa Adai, how are you today?
I am well.
All right. You know what, Pauly? Man, I really love listening to your show. You know, you're correct. A few weeks ago, what did they announce? Oh, we got the land. We're going to build a hospital. Okay, so when is it going to be built? Now they want to get more land, and is that going to be another holdup again? You know, I see everything. I listen to everything you're saying, and, you know, it's just ridiculous. And you're right. We have a lot of facilities already located in one area. You know, you've got the doctor's clinic, you've got mental health, you've got Guam radiology. You have all these clinics that are down there that is close to GMH. You know, but if we're going to talk about location over and over for the, I don't know, Governor Liu might be out before we even see what groundbreaking if they're going to pursue other people's land. And if the owner's not going to sell, he's not going to sell. And if you're trying to condemn it so you're forcing them to sell, you might as well say you're the U.S. military. That's all I got, man. I appreciate everything you talked about
Joe.
on the radio, Pauly.
To be fair, it's not really my words. I'm just repeating the words of people like Senator Chris Barnett and repeating the words of Dr. Tom Shea, Dr. Wynn, of talking about, you know, we have a medical city. We have a medical complex. It's there in Tamuning. So I'm just repeating what they have been saying too.
Right.
Yeah.
We all understand where it's coming from, and you know, but you reiterate and you put it out there for all the people to hear. So greatly appreciate it.
Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
I'm going to go back to saying what I said to you earlier this year on one of your shows. If you put the hospital in a location near the current GMH, okay, you can build a new hospital, and when that's done, then you can refurbish GMH, either break it down and rebuild or whatever it's going to cost, and then you'll have everything in the same area within walking distance. I mean, there's hospitals that around the world that have clinics right beside them, and their main structure is, located close to them. So, and I still don't understand how we're going to build a hospital in Manila with a 2-lane road. Are we expanding that road?
Yeah, the goal is, they want to expand that road. Yep.
Well, if you've drove there, Pauly, I'm quite sure, and if you look to your right and your left when you're on that road, I mean, there's nothing but ditches and water. I mean, look at all the work they had to put up or to build the GPA building out there. I mean, talk about environmental, your earlier statement with Camp Blas and the tree, talk about the environmental impact out there. So I'm just putting it out there, another 2 cents there, Pauly, but thank you for, briefing the public on everything that's being said out there by the government.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, Pauly.
All right, Edjos. 5:06 in the afternoon. We'll take the break. We're KGUM FM in Hagåtña, Guam.
KGUM FM, Hagåtña, Guam. The sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Matt Piper. In the mood for gift giving this Thanksgiving? A survey finds many are feeling a little bah humbug about it.
A nationally representative survey from Wallet Hub shows many consumers are planning on cutting back on holiday spending.
Santa's going to be the Grinch. 68% of people expect Santa to be less generous because of rising prices.
Wallet Hub's Chip Lupo.
31% of those said that they're going to spend less on gifts this year compared to last. It's also affecting charitable giving. 72% inflation has influenced their donations.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
AAA expects about 80 million people to travel this week. TSA Administrator David Pekuski says a lot of flyers are still not getting the message about taking off with a gun.
Already this calendar year, we've detected about 6,000 firearms in our checkpoints. And if you think of very busy periods of travel like we have coming up now, that's going to close that lane for 15 minutes or so.
He says weapons have to be secured in a checked bag, and you must notify the airline. There is a sentencing hearing Monday for a woman convicted of killing her neighbor.
Susan Lorenz, a white woman, was found guilty of manslaughter for shooting and killing Ajika Owens, a black woman. Owens' mother, Pam Dias, after the verdict came down.
We've achieved some justice for Ajika.
Witnesses say Owens confronted Lorenz after she threw a roller skate and swung an umbrella at one of her kids. That Lorenz repeatedly used racial slurs. Lorenz claimed self-defense, saying Owens banged on her door and threatened to kill her. Lorenz is 60 and faces 30 years in prison. Peter King, CBS News, Orlando.
Another hearing Monday, this one in L.A. for the Menendez brothers. Lawyers want the court to look at new evidence, including a letter written by Eric, allegedly, to a cousin talking about his father's abuse. CBS's Elise Preston has that.
Following a 1994 mistrial, the pair was convicted in 1996 after a short second trial, where the judge wouldn't allow the jury to hear the defense's claim that the brothers acted in self-defense after suffering years of physical and sexual abuse.
And the attorneys are hoping the brothers will be resentenced and released with time served. Butterball is back to help people hosting holiday parties to not burn the turkey or poison the guests. Charlotte Draper is with Butterball, the turkey hotline, and says preparation is key.
What we suggest is that you allow one 24-hour day in the refrigerator to thaw your turkey. Do not count Thanksgiving Day.
And those experts answer about 100,000 questions through November and December. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career path with flexibility, great pay, and benefits? Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Wicked took in some big ticket sales this weekend. Correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York on one way you can bring the movie into holiday travels.
Wicked cast a spell at the box office in its opening weekend. Popular. The film is not just popular with moviegoers. A Wicked-themed suite at New York Hilton Midtown has been a near sellout, so the hotel is extending availability through January 26th. It features plenty of sparkle befitting of a very good witch. Wicked cocktails are also available at Hilton hotels in major cities. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Chuck Woolery, the smooth-talking game show host of Wheel of Fortune, Love Connection, and Scrabble, has died. He was inducted into the American TV Game Show Hall of Fame in 2007 and earned a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1978. Chuck Woolery was 83. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
Here for the community. Wave 105 FM.
Good afternoon. It is 5:12 p.m. and that is your time check brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has something new on their menu, the mushroom bacon cheeseburger. Try their deliciously indulgent sandwich made with juicy beef, crispy applewood smoked bacon, savory roasted mushrooms, Munster cheese, and a creamy garlic spread, all on soft toasted bun. Choose wisely, choose Wendy's.
Mark your calendars for November 29th. FHB Island Optical is hosting its Black Friday frame sale. Buy one pair and get your second pair 50% off. Purchase $200 or more and you'll be entered to win a round-trip ticket to Japan, a brand new Nintendo Switch, or an Apple Watch. Hurry to FHB Island Optical on November 29th. Conditions apply. FHB Island Optical is located in Tumaning at the Century Plaza on the second level. FHB Island Optical, Guam's premier eyewear boutique.
The Brightside is brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar. At Chili's, more life, great food, and memories happen here. Good to go, we deliver deliciousness. Order online or grab our app. Over 100 plus restaurants at your fingertips. GTA, we start with you. Subway, eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at subwaypacific.com for pickup at your convenience or for delivery right at your doorstep. Online ordering at subwaypacific.com is powered by Good to Go, we deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh. Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Craving Italian? Swing by Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Dive into our super pizza, enjoy creamy spaghetti carbonara, or savor the rich fettuccine Alfredo. Open daily for lunch and dinner. Taste the best of Italy today at Vitali's Italian Restaurant. Now's that time for your real deal traffic report here on the bright side. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Chalampago if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Route 10. Slow traffic on Route 8 in Barragata if you're heading to the intersection near the fire station. Slow traffic on Route 16 in Barragata if you're heading to the intersection near the post office and the Guam National Guard. Slow traffic on Route 4 in Chalampago if you're heading to the intersection that also leads to Mai Road. Heavy traffic on Route 4 in Orda if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Darrow Drive. Heavy traffic on Route 4 in Sinahania if you're coming from Hagåtña heading to the intersection near the Central Precinct. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14B and on the sidewalk into Muning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your real deal traffic report here on the bright side.
The views and opinions expressed in this show are that of the show host, guests, and callers. They do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff and management of Wave 105 FM, Glimpses Media, or any of our partners. As we strive to provide quality, respectful, and engaging content, we welcome you to participate in the conversation. Thank you for tuning in to Wave 105 FM, the sound of Guam. Enjoy the show.
Guam is where I'm from. Kingdom of our people. Guam, island in the sun. From Jigo to Malesi, this land is all that we know. I said this land is all that we know.
Welcome back. The Bright Side right here on Wave 105, 5:16 in the afternoon. Joining you as you have a big smile on your face because you're clocked out of work, right? I'm out of here until tomorrow. So appreciate you tuning in to Wave 105, 671-922-1051 or 1052. We're online, thewave105.com. We're also on our YouTube channel, the Wave 105.1 FM Guam. And so, again, talking about this eminent domain, right, and condemnation, condemning land so we can, what are we, right? What are we going to use this? So the governor was speaking to Patty Arroyo this morning and talked about the possibility of using it for housing development or medical facilities, potentially assisted living centers. And I've heard the Deputy Director, Fernando Esteves, talking about this as well, assisted living centers and veterans facilities, right? And so it's not, so I just feel like it's moving way too fast. Like we didn't hear about this eminent domain and condemning lands. And then now Gura is saying we have to now because we gave them a certain amount of money, specifically Dr. Joseph, $1.3 million. He rejected it. And then, $4.2 million also rejected it, right? And so, again, to be fair, maybe this is all happening so fast because the reports just came out over the weekend. Maybe these conversations have been happening for quite some time. I don't know. But already Dr. Joseph has said on the record that he goes, I want 6 million. And so if we're at 6 million, I mean, if we're at 4.2 and we're trying to get to 6 million, can these conversations just continue to happen a little bit longer before we talk about, it's time to just condemn the land? Because he said he's going to fight it. He's going to take it to court. That will prolong things even more to the point where we might have a whole nother administration. And if it's not Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio's administration, will this even be something that a different administration is going to want to pursue? Because that, to me, is like worst case scenario. We're putting Gura all up in this, making Gura fight this good fight, and then 2 years later, it's a whole nother administration, and not Tenorio. And then we say, no, that was a terrible idea. I can't believe we did that. And then we put this money, this ARP money, into those properties, or even worse, the money to pay for all of the legal fees, and then not continue with condemning the land or pursuing condemning land. I don't know. 4.2, 6 mil. At this point, it's not that big. It's not that much more to give the guy his $6 million when we're talking about $1.3 billion to fund the government. I'm sure we can find $1.8 million so that we just don't go through the whole legal battle. Rand Kaufman's on the line. The original Hafa Adai, senor.
Hey, Chief.
How's it going?
I got one for you.
Yes, please.
This is something I learned from Mr. Cushing. Remember Cushing?
Yes, Cushing Zoo.
Cushing Zoo, but the old man and old woman. Did you ever meet those guys?
No.
They were. They're Jim Cushing and Frank Cushing. Those guys are. This is the parents.
Okay.
This guy put his wife on top of a 50-foot pole, and she did different postures and handstands on top of this 50-foot pole in front of Hitler. This guy, he jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge. He jumped off the Golden Gate Bridge with a 100-pound sack of flour.
Okay.
So you could see him going down. Okay? Now, he lived on Guam. His wife, long-time post office young lady. Land exchange, Cello. Land exchange.
Oh,
that
yeah.
place they have on the beach, it's because the government did an eminent domain, and they did a land exchange.
Yeah.
Now, Joseph, looking for a place to build his retirement home, and he put his value together, he could get a land exchange. And that land exchange in the future could be worth a lot more than $4.some million. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, land exchanges happened before. The worry about land exchanges because, let's just say somebody had central land in Hagåtña, right? They're like, we'll give you way more, right? So we need this land for the court, and so they're like, okay, so where's the land gonna be? Oh, we'll give it to you closer to like Humatec area, but there's no sewage, no power lines, and we'll give you way more.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But he can negotiate.
Yeah.
You know, he can negotiate that. Even beachfront property.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if this guy's looking for a retirement place, you know, instead of out there in Manilao,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, how many acres you got? You get a spot on the beach, or you know, you get something. I mean, what he's looking at is not an investment property. He's looking for a retirement home property.
Sure.
So,
and he's
I mean,
pretty
I'm just
close.
thinking Joseph, just in his case, right?
Yeah.
Now, I understand about the ups and downs of it, but I'll bet you the government has something that he would much rather have, right? And it could be worth a lot more than the $4.some million in just the value of the land exchange.
Sure. Or
anyway, that's just you know, I mean, as opposed to trying to do an eminent domain.
Yeah. Or both, 4.2, and then get land somewhere that's 1.8, and there's 6 mil that he's wanting.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, whatever, however you negotiate it, right?
Sure.
But it's something that I mean, should be looking. I saw that Frank Cushing, man. He got that place on the beach, and he was always laughing about it. You know what he gave to get that.
Hmm.
You know, he said, you know, the government.
What did he give? What did he give to get that land?
You know, to be honest with you, Pauly, I'm not sure what he gave. But, you know, in his eyes, the government gave him a pot of gold.
Sure.
Right? Putting him on the beach in Ipoh.
Sure, yeah.
Right? You know, so that's where he was kind of coming from. And then I always remembered that as being a very powerful statement, you know, from him, that he wasn't at all, you know, upset about losing his property.
Yeah.
Because he, you know, as to what it was he got. But, you know, that could be the same thing with Joseph if something like that was offered to him.
Yeah, it also doesn't help that, you know, I was reading the paper, the PDN, where, you know, also the government hasn't been kind to him either. So he's not as willing to just say, oh, yeah, here's my land. How much do you want? 1.3? Sure. Oh, 4.2? Oh, even better.
Yeah. No, I understand. Yeah. But you know, those kind of things, I'm just thinking of him. I mean, if he's thinking about retirement, right? You know, I mean, if that's something he's ready to leave his veterinary business, it just may be, you know, another location of equal value that he might not have the money now, you know, to be able to purchase, might be an avenue for him.
Sure.
You know, that's all I'm kind of thinking of is.
Yeah.
Because what happened to Mr. Cushing? Boy, oh boy! I mean, these guys. His scrapbook. We'd sit down and we'd look at his scrapbook.
Yeah.
And what he was doing, an interesting thing he was doing too, on his land in Tumon, he was building a submersible.
I didn't know that.
Like a bascope, yeah. And he fell off of it. And when he fell off of it, he quit making it. As you know, he was that sensitive and stuff, right?
Sure.
But him and his son were anchored right outside Tumon there, and they're yeah, and they went all the way to the Philippines in this kind of raft, you know. But and then because Cushing, when he got there, he apparently landed in the Philippines, where General Cushing freed him from the Japanese, freed the Filipino community from the Japanese during World War II. So here he comes in. That was his brother or something.
Huh.
You know, yeah. I mean, you know, it's interesting. This guy's, you know, way, you know, fantastic guy. You know, Guam boy. You know, he's Cushing's are here, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the story that I got. But yeah, no, if it's just a thought.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
That maybe something like that could.
We're both
come
just
about if nobody's thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
You know, instead of coming up with cash.
We're just on the radio, just thinking out loud.
Yeah. Taking care of all the millions of problems that everybody has. And being thankful. What they say is, be thankful you got problems home.
Absolutely.
And you're not dead.
No. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. If you're not living, you're dying.
Yeah, well, we're all dying. I mean, that's from day one. 14.7 pounds per square inch is the guarantee. That's how many pounds per square inch is putting on you every second from your gravity, right? That's the road that's going to take us down. But anyway, yeah, no, I'm all for whatever the government wants to do, you know, in lieu and building this facility, being the nurse that she is, you know. But the idea, of course, is to make everybody happy.
Sure.
In the process, so you don't, nobody feelings, and he might be a lot more ready for some property.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, that he would switch, and then he'd maybe feel better about the government. Right, giving him a hard time all these years.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, we're $1.8 million from him saying yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, the last time you and I got offered something like that, we were at the pool hall, and we were doing shots, right? That's
Let's go, yeah.
So how lucky can you be with the old government getting on you all the time when you're negotiating $4.7 million for a retirement home? Yeah. Hello.
Well, thanks, Saran. I'm going to try to grab this other phone call.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you for the time.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing. I'll just take it cold. Hafa Adai, this is Wave 105. Hello.
Hello.
Hafa Adai, you're on the air.
Hey, my brother, how you
John,
doing?
what's going on?
Hey, good, man. Sorry, I've been busy.
Hey, no worries, my friend.
I just chimed in, man. I was reading that, too, on the paper in regards to that land. And then, to condemn the property and all that. My question is, though, I mean, I see Mr. Joseph, I guess, when he was explaining everything as to, sounds like he wants to, I know he's a veterinarian.
Yeah.
So I think he wants to build a, not only as a retirement home, man, but everything he explained, like a cremation of animals. Yep. I think he wants to bring, his hospital to his residence where he just retires off there and, put it to good use, right?
Sure. And also, I think he, with an acre he wants to keep also. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but my question is, though, what if just out of, what if the guy doesn't want to give it up?
They're gonna they're gonna take it and give him the best that they're willing to give is $4.2 million, right? That was the final offer. So eminent domain is like, listen, this is for the betterment of the public. We need this land.
But
here's 4.2.
Wasn't he the owner before old Gist comes out with this, everything going on, or?
Yeah, and that's he can take it to court like he said he will, and that'll definitely slow down the process. I think that it's a lot of this is happening so fast, and maybe it hasn't been happening so fast behind closed doors, but that is my concern because Deputy Director Fernando Esteves said that this has all been very transparent. But if it's all been very transparent, why are we only hearing about it now? Unless it has been just happening now. So that means it's happening so fast.
I don't know, man. I mean, for me, if that's me as a landowner, I'm just saying that's something that I really consider as mine.
Yes.
Set in stone is mine, and you're just gonna boot me out because the government said so. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, because nowadays land's precious, man, and if you set your your eye on it as to what you're gonna do for your future, I mean, unless they can provide you somewhat much better, which it sounds like he might not take it, man.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think he's gonna take it to a whole new level, and like you say, take it to court, like he states, and see, what the how it's gonna play out, right?
Well, if you don't renegotiate with him, then that's what it definitely sounds like. It definitely sounds like that.
Say the governor's gonna have a field day, knowing that, man, one person's holding it up, right?
Well, the governor, to be fair, this morning had said she's staying out of it. This is not something that I am going to pursue.
The proper channels.
This is all Gura. Gura is pursuing this, and so. If that is the case, and she says it is, then, I'll take her word for it. And then if it does not happen, then we have to accept it. He does not want to sell. You're staying out of it. Gura is the one pursuing it. And Gura now will have to go through this legal battle. Who's paying for the legal fees?
Exactly.
And then how long can this be drawn out? It can be drawn out for 2 years. It can be drawn out for longer.
Honestly, man, it kind of reminds me, I don't know if you're, how familiar you are with the land in Tumon. So remember that piece of property in between the hotels? Now I think it's old Tropicana, but they turned it into a condo.
Oh, yeah.
In the Coben. So from what I've known for years, it's that owner never wanted to give up. They offered millions and millions and millions, but, the owner's smart. Is why am I going to sell something that I know is going to, benefit later as years go, as it grows, Hence why it's just the property by itself gated.
Yeah.
So,
I think they're finally going to do something with that land, right? I mean,
it's been gated. You always see it get clean. So but I've heard stories like they offered him, the owner millions and millions, but never budged.
The parking garage is now gone.
Yep. Yeah. So I don't know, man. For me, I just think it's if the guy owns it, why even sell it and then when the future comes, you're gonna boot him out for something that he has no choice,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of messed up, man.
So
that's just my personal take.
No, I feel you. I do. It sounds like we need this land, right? And we need a hospital, but I think we can build this hospital with the land that they already purchased prior. And so this excess land is for the nursing homes and the veterans clinic.
First things first, to build the hospital, then we can branch out, other things, to see,
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to make it all happen, one shot deal, and we all know it ain't gonna happen like that,
Yeah.
Pipe dreams, huh?
Well, and also, I thought this was supposed to be less controversial. It's turning into a lot more controversy.
Exactly. Bad enough they have to deal with the other landowners, when this thing all started. Now this,
Yeah.
So they left out Mr. Joseph, man.
Yeah. So if we go back and look at EPAL Point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Senator Chris Barnett was on his Instagram Live today, and he said, we don't need to do any condemnation over there. No eminent domain over there.
Because the land was given by the Paris family already, man, for the use of the hospital. But
right,
and the thing is, infrastructure's there. With this new hospital, you're gonna have to start with
infrastructure. You're gonna have to put in more infrastructure
with the sewage, and then power, all that stuff. While everything is easier at Oka Point, man.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because if they lay down sewage, right, these sewage lines over on Route 15, and the statement was said that it would also benefit the other landowners nearby. Well,
exactly. But,
the other landowners, you want to buy that land, and you want to buy it for a certain amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're finding out that these landowners are Mr. Joseph. Well, the adjacent land that they want to use for this veterans facility and assisted living center is Mr. Joseph, and then the Hong Yi Tian, which is 5 parcels, right?
Yeah.
So who else can benefit if you're buying these 7 parcels? Then the land adjacent to those 7 parcels. Those landowners will benefit from the sewage lines getting put in,
and everyone else is left in the wind.
Well, they can always build on that too, right? They can always extend out further, but that part is interesting because I was thinking that the landowners that were adjacent to where the 48 acres that would be, or the 52 acres that would go with the property that they have already purchased for the hospital, those landowners that are right there adjacent to them would benefit. Come to find out, they want that land too.
I'll be honest with you, man. If you really think about it, real quick, so prior before all this GMH came about, Oka Point was the only standalone hospital back in the early days, correct? Before they knocked it down because, they needed to build a new one, right? So they built a new one where the current GMH is at, which is not too far from Oka Point.
Right.
So now, fast forward to, the present, they want to build a new hospital to accommodate the central and southern community, correct?
Yes.
And that's the main point as to why they want to do this. But
well,
man,
one of them.
If you ask me my honest opinion, man, I mean, we've been doing so great with the hospital being in Tamuning, regardless if it's the current GMH or Oka Point. I mean, the South still get treated. Yes, I get it. It's a drive. So this is my take. I mean, instead of, going through all these craziness, of what's going on, my thing is, I mean, let's say you take that money, put partial into GMH, revamp it, get it to where it needs to be. Okay, and then the remainder of the funding, let's build like somewhat of a mini urgent care. I mean, Inarahan Public Health is down there. Add more to the infrastructure, that way it accommodates for the South.
Heck
and
yeah.
if it's something so serious, then we do the transport up to the hospital. At least they can nip it in the bud, at halfway where if it's something critical, they can deal with the patient there and, until transport en route to GMH or GRMC. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Because why in Iran is just a sitting duck, man. I mean, it's a waste of a building, and that building is still fairly, I mean, for me, that thing's still fairly new.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more than 10 years, but of course it's going to look dilapidated because of the upkeep,
Sure.
So I think, that's just my take, man, is turn that into a mini urgent care, maybe hold 10 beds at the most, or, nothing too serious, but all seriousness, attend to, and then transport to the, the hospital, right?
Yeah,
So,
I think
I
they
just say
can
at
do
least
that.
The South has something, man.
They can do that. Right now they can.
Yeah, I mean, the infrastructure's there, the everything's there. Sewer lines, power, you're just adding more, making it bigger if need be,
I don't even think you need to make it bigger. I think they just retrofit the rooms that are already there for urgent care and man
you know
it.
what I mean? I mean, nip it in the butt, and then to alleviate all this craziness that before the hospital even comes up, man, you won't even solve the first problem. That's the landowner issue.
That Southern Clinic was supposed to be. It is supposed to be set for that.
Yeah, that was the whole reason why they did that, but they never fulfilled. It never went through. I mean, the building's there, but I guess the mission, stopped.
Yeah.
So, that's just my take, man. I mean, to alleviate all the stress and the craziness of everybody with the government side of the house,
Yeah.
I mean, money's there. Let's just, be smart about it, man. I mean, you and me both know that hospital ain't going to be up within a 6-year span.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just the first 2 years alone is just infrastructure.
Mm-hmm.
And
they know that.
Yeah, so, but I guess, I mean, we'll leave it up to the government, man, and, let them, make the right decisions, I guess. But I feel for Mr. Joseph.
Yeah, I mean, while they're making all the right decisions, we can talk about it.
Yeah, that's what we can do. I mean, we can't really do much, right?
We can sure complain about it.
I mean, the furthest we can go is go hold a poster board, and protest about it. But, even at that, we're still talking about it and just shouting.
Oh, yeah. People are paying attention, too. People are listening.
True. But,
I appreciate you calling in.
That's just my take on that, my bro.
I appreciate your take.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yes,
John.
Sir. All right,
take care.
You have a good evening, bro, and hopefully I get to talk to you before Thanksgiving, man.
Yes.
It's time to get fanned up with the turkey.
All right. Even if it's dry.
Yeah, true. Nowadays the end thing is deep fry.
Yeah. All right, John. Take care.
All right, bro. Take care.
Adios. 5:43. Is somebody else?
Not right now.
All right, we'll take the quick break then. Coming up, East is going to take care of that last real deal traffic report right here on Wave 105.
Wicked took in some big ticket sales this weekend. Correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from New York on one way you can bring the movie into holiday travels.
Wicked cast a spell at the box office in its opening weekend.
Popular.
The film is not just popular with moviegoers. A Wicked-themed suite at New York Hilton Midtown has been a near sellout, so the hotel is extending availability through January 26th. It features plenty of sparkle befitting of a very good witch. Wicked cocktails are also available at Hilton hotels in major cities. Wendy Gillette, CBS News, New York.
Chuck Woolery, the smooth-talking game show host of Wheel of Fortune, Love Connection, and Scrabble, has died. He was inducted into the American TV Game Show Hall of Fame in 2007 and earned a Daytime Emmy nomination in 1978. Chuck Woolery was 83. Matt Piper, CBS News.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
KFC's hot wings are back and better than ever. Hand-breaded to crispy golden perfection, KFC's hot wings pack a punch of bold, fiery flavor in every bite. Freshly made throughout the day, fiery and finger-licking good. It's everything you love about KFC turned all the way up. So head to your nearest KFC and grab KFC hot wings before they fly away. KFC hot wings. It's finger-licking good.
New to Guam or just want to explore more? TheGuamGuide.com is your ultimate island resource with latest events, activities, and insider tips. Visit TheGuamGuide.com and follow us on Instagram at TheGuamGuide.
Eat fresh in just a few clicks. Order online at SubwayPacific.com for pickup at your convenience or delivery right to your doorstep. Online ordering at SubwayPacific.com is powered by Good To Go. We deliver. At Subway, you gotta refresh to be fresh.
Looking for an exciting career? We have fantastic opportunities for you. Join our team and work at leading brands like Coca-Cola, Subway, Chili's Grill and Bar, Cinnabon, Glimpses of Guam, and Good To Go. Whether you're interested in customer service, management, or marketing, we have roles that fit your passion. Visit www.glimpsesofguam.com to explore career openings and start your journey with us today.
Start your day right with Mornings with Patty Arroyo every weekday morning from 6 to 10 a.m. Then meet me, Pauly Suba, in your afternoon on the Brightside. Ride the wave with us on your radio at 105.1 FM or stream us 24/7 at thewave105.com. The sound of Guam is Wave 105.1 FM.
Now's that time for your last real deal traffic report here on the Brightside. Heavy traffic on Route 4 in Sinahanya if you're coming from Hagåtña heading to the intersection near the Central Precinct. Heavy traffic on Route 1 in Timoning southbound if you're heading to the intersection that leads to Route 30. Heavy traffic on Route 1 to Timoning north and southbound if you're heading to the intersection near the ITC building. Heavy traffic on Route 10A in Timoning if you're coming from the intersection on Route 1 heading to the intersection in front of the Guam Airport, as well as the East Sunset Boulevard Street. Heavy traffic on Route 1 in Timoning north and southbound if you're heading to the intersection near the John F. Kennedy High School. Heavy traffic on Route 1 in Upper Tumon northbound if you're passing the St. John School heading to the intersection that leads to Route 16 or near the Dedado Wendy's restaurant. And now for your traffic advisory for the week from Monday, November 25th to Friday, November 29th between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. Motorists are advised that the contractor will continue shoulder work along Route 14, Challenge San Antonio into Manning. During this time, expect minimal lane shifts and intermittent lane closures. And that is your Real Deal traffic report here on the Brightside.
All right, 5:49 in the afternoon. Enough of that eminent domain talk. My head's hurting. My head hurts. Because the thing is, I get it. It's for the greater good, right? I think that's kind of what we understand. It's for the greater public, and that's what, that's when it comes down to that. But if it's your land, then, you want people to be advocating for you also. You're like, wow, I feel helpless. I can feel helpless. And then especially when you are not, if you just so happen to have this land that the government wants, and maybe you're not. You feel like you're not connected at all. Where do you stand in that? And those are the people that I'm always thinking about. The person that doesn't feel like they have anybody who's fighting for me. And so when you put it at that level, then it shouldn't matter whose land it is that we're talking about. Joe Malik is on the line, yeah? Hafa Adai, Joe Malik. Hey. Senor, who's trying to take your land?
I bought my land from the government.
Go ahead and try. If you're like me, I'm trying to take. If you're like me, I'm land grabbing every 2 inches.
Kill my pigs and catch them away. The Maloko.
If you're like me, I'm trying to take my neighbor's land every 2 inches every weekend. I'm gonna cut more of this grass right here. if I'm the caretaker of this little land over here, it's mine.
Put a rebar for your marker.
I've been cutting this grass for 20 years. This is my land.
Put a sign. Keep out.
That's what you're doing, right? That's what you're doing, Joe Malik. You're cutting all of that grass over at NASA because they're going to eventually be like, this is not NASA's land no more. This is my land.
I think what I'm going to do is put up a sign, keep out.
I feel you.
I'm the only one that's doing the bush cutting in that place, man.
Yeah.
How's
everything else? Yes.
I go because of the public health in Manila.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what they should do, because that belongs to the government of Guam, transfer the VA office from Asan over to Manila Public Health.
Okay, They need
I can get to it closer.
Better yet, put it over at the fire station in Inalahan. Then you're really close. Then you'll be really close.
The public health, the Southern Regional Clinic, public health.
Yeah.
They can open up. There's a lot of room there, vacant room.
I knew it.
They can open up, they can open up for the VA clinic.
Yeah.
But the office, instead of Asan, the VA office,
Sure.
put them over the Manila Public Health.
Yeah. Well, that place isn't even safe to open it up at all at this point with the electrical fire and the HVAC is completely it needs to be replaced. The air conditioners.
That the director can request from the VA office back in Hawaii. Oh, and another thing, because people are saying about the independence and Commonwealth and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I suggest that we become a county for Hawaii.
Ooh, really?
Yeah, because we get everything from Hawaii, even the VA. I have to call Hawaii for my medication.
But then we're not going to have a governor of Guam. There won't be a governor of Guam anymore. Only a mayor. Only one mayor. The mayor of Guam.
That's what we need.
Hey, then Mayor Anthony Chargloff's going to get upset with you. There's not going to be a mayor of Inalon anymore. There's not going to be a mayor of Hagåtña. No more mayor of MTM. It's only one mayor. If we become a jurisdiction of Hawaii,
Which then
is
we have to we select for the mayor of Guam.
Yeah, mayor of Guam. And we become.
Look at Saipan. We have a mayor, Chilean mayor in Rota.
Yeah. And then one governor of the CNMI.
One governor of Saipan.
Yeah. And so, honestly, I feel like we should, before we even think about becoming a jurisdiction of Hawaii, we should talk about reunification with the CNMI. I'd rather do that. I'd rather you reunify with the CNMI than be a jurisdiction of Hawaii.
I don't know. I don't know, but we're still the same with the Northern Marianas.
Yeah,
But if we become the county of Hawaii, we're more accessible or access to the government, the U.S. government.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's worth having a conversation, right? And can we? Well, through self-determination, we can. I know the three choices are Commonwealth, Free Association, and statehood, but it's not necessarily becoming the 51st state. It could be integrating with the state, and that's Hawaii. So in that aspect, just for the sake of the conversation, yeah, we can. Do I want? No, I don't know. I don't want. I think that's less because.
Why don't we? It's only fair because we spend a lot of us doing the military.
Sure, I get it.
Like for example, a lot of Tamil that got killed in Vietnam.
Yeah.
77 of them got killed in Vietnam. So it's about time that we become a county at least for Hawaii because everything that we request are being controlled by Hawaii.
Yeah.
So
at least we'll get
for us to be a county. Let's start from the county, being a county.
At least we'll get a vote. At least we'll get a congressman that can actually vote in Congress.
Right. Yeah. Once we do that.
Yeah.
Once we become a county of Hawaii, then.
Senor,
the county. Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for.
I know, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Dongo idea, right?
It's an idea. It's an
That's
idea.
only a dongo idea.
Yeah. Don't worry, I still like you, Joe Malik. I'm gonna run. It's Monday.
Hey, it's so much time for you to go home.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave now. It's Monday. Just leave early.
Go and buscar.
Yes.
Buscar your property.
Yes, I'm gonna go continue my land taking of my neighbor's property. Okay, Joe Malik.
Offer him that you're gonna buy his property for $1.
Hey, I cut it. Might as well. All right, senor.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye.
Adios. Esta.
Yeah.
5:58, and in just a couple of seconds, it's going to be 5:59. So might as well just get out of here, right? Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody continue to be safe out there and be kind to each other, yeah? After all, we do live in paradise. No reason to be upset all the time, especially not on the roads. Be nice at least on the roads. All right, adios. See you tomorrow. But with Patty Arroyo starting things off with Dice, 6 to 10, right? Rolling with Dice and Mornings with Patty. It is going to be Tuesday, so you got Cop Talk from 10 to 11. Maximum Millennium Music will ride right into another Brightside. All right here on the Sound of Guam. We are Wave 105.
KGUM-FM, Hagåtña, Guam. The Sound of Guam is Wave 105 FM.